Ladies and gentlemen, it is your boy back at it again. Welcome to another edition of the Rico Report, brought to you by you know who. It's the Buffalo Fanatics. What's good, everybody? Welcome. It's a Friday night. Y'all know what time it is, man. It's a little different tonight. My man Zbot is away, and your boy is holding it down as we should. Now, I apologize for a little late beginning, but also it was the wife's birthday. It was the wife's birthday. So she's doing her birthday thing. So I'm solo dolo. So I got all the children. All the children are with your boy. So I got to make sure that everything is under control, doing what we must. And away we go. So thank you guys for tuning in. As always, you guys are always it's always love. It's always love when I see my peoples on Friday night. So let's get right to it, man. It's Saints week. It is the Saints week. What up to my man Cody Benz? I see you. Mike Hart, I see you. I see everybody in the chat. Do me a favor, smash that like as you guys get in here. I know it's Friday. I know you're tired. So if you in, jump in, say what's up, jump out. I got you. Let's roll. All right. Well, before we get to it, we saw the Thursday night game, obviously between the Cardinals and the Seahawks. Divisional games always tough. 3-point game. It looked like the Cardinals were, out of it, and then they made it a game, and then the inevitable happened. People are asking questions about the Cardinals. People are wondering what's up with Kyler, what's up with, first round draft pick Marvin Harrison Jr., what's going on with their chemistry. They still got to work at it. That's just what it comes down to at the end of the day. But here we are. Smash that. Y'all know what it is. Let's get to it. All right. The age-old question that most times when we're about to face a team that may not have the accolades or may not have, let's just be blunt with it. They don't have the W's to show that, they could rock with the best of them in the league. And when you look at what the New Orleans Saints are putting out, they're not doing quite well this year. And a lot of that, you can blame that on, they got a new head coach, right? So, and that was a gig, first and foremost, that nobody wanted. Nobody was looking at that gig because you're like, okay, y'all don't got a quarterback. Okay. Your best player is your running back. I don't even think that's ever cracked 1,000 yards rushing, but we all know Alvin Kamara is a dog. So let's not even question that. Your best receiver can be injury prone. You don't know if the one run wrong hit, he's out there again, but he's talented. The defense has got some pieces, but just not good enough. So this has W written all over it. It just does. You have a red hot 3-0 Bills team that have been contending to be a Super Bowl contender for years. And then you have the Saints. So apparently the spread for this game is something to the nature of 17.5 points. I think it was at 16. I think it's jumped up to 17. It's just not good. It's just not good. So when we have a game coming up that the Bills should be able to just run through the Saints. They should be able to run through the Saints. But these are one of those games, and you know what time it is. Sometimes Bills, with 10 days rest on top of that, we just had a Thursday night game. They've had the rest. And they're hosting on top. This has the remedy. This has all the makings of a beatdown. The Real just said it. 596-0. That's what it feels like it should be. So I just got a message from my man Zbot. So I gotta just message him right now. So Zbot, if you guys know Zbot, and if you know his hours of work and all that stuff, he sleeps. His hours are jacked up. Let's just put it that way. I thought my hours were jacked up. This guy's a night owl. He is the epitome of a night owl. When I used to work nights, there'll be times where I'd be just, going to the group chat just to kind of, send something. And this brother's up. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, yo, I'm just working on something. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And he's still doing it to this day. Anyway, he just texted me. He's like, dude, I just woke up. So cut him some slack if he does show up or if he's just too jacked up. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what my man wants to do. But anyway, let's keep it rolling. He'll just jump in when he gets a chance to. So this has the makings of a freaking beatdown. It has the making of a beatdown. But the Bills tend to have these moments where they just let teams hang around for no business. There are times where they just let these guys hang around when they have no business allowing these teams to hang around. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why? Case in point, the Giants. When we played the Giants, we let that team hang around. Like, well, how are we letting the Giants hang around and almost, we're playing Brian Dable and all that good stuff. I don't give a rat's A. Bury these dudes. But we tend to do that. The Bills especially tend to do that. So I'm hoping that there is no mercy. There is no mercy. The same way there was no mercy when, the Seahawks were putting it on last week. They had to kind of say, you had to kind of pull off a little bit and just say, okay, call off the dogs, right? When the Denver Broncos just got absolutely walloped by the Miami Dolphins, or was it the other way around? I can't recall what it was. Just a beatdown. That's what I'm looking for. I need it to be that way. It can't be a 27-24 victory over the Saints. And I get it. When you are the Bills, you're coming to town, or the other team's coming to town. This is like, guys, if we're going to make a statement, we got to make a statement against the Bills so they know that we're for real. So we're going to get everyone's best. We're always going to get everyone's best. No different than the Patriots. When the Patriots were whooping everybody's tail, they got everybody's best. And that's why you respect them even more, because they were still winning knowing that they were going to get everybody's best. That's why you respect the Chiefs the last few years. You're going to get everyone's best, and they still were able to put up some victories. So we are now in that department. We are now in that category. We are now in that realm. We're getting everybody's best. The matter, even if they're scrubs, we're going to get their best. You're going to have guys that are playing lights out. You're like, who is this guy? And how is this guy coming out and do big things? Well, guess what? When you play well against the top dogs, you know what I'm saying, and you show out, those are the type of things that get you more playing time for your team. You say, okay, this guy's ready to go. He's one of our dogs. So we have to quiet the dogs. We got to make them into chihuahuas, into little pups. They're coming to our home. Handle your business. This is one of those games that it could be an easy letdown. An easy letdown. And it's already been put out there. Let me share my screen real quick. I don't even need to lay my screen. McDermott already put it out there. Milano, out. Ed Oliver, out. Spencer Brown and Epinesa are dealing with their injuries, so they're limited, right? I think Spencer Brown will be good to go. I think he'll play, but I could totally see last minute McDermott says, you know what, just take a seat. Chris Lund, get in there and you handle business, right? I could totally see those things taking place. But let's not sit here and think that is just going to be a cakewalk and the Bills are just going to run through the Saints. They should, but don't think the Saints are just going to lay down, is what I'm saying. It's still early in the season where they still got juice in their legs, so they're still going to give it out. Spencer Rattler, right now, he is 0-9 as a starter. As a starter, this brother is 0-9. The Bills, please don't make it 1-9. Because he's like, I can't go 0-10 to start my career. So if I'm going to go off, I got to go off against these. But nah, bro, we can't have that. We can't have that. We cannot have that. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot. So I'm looking at the guys that we need to watch for, obviously, on the Saints. And obviously, Alvin Kamara is going to be one that you definitely want to watch. You absolutely do want to watch that as well. Alvin Kamara right now, in the 3 games that he's played this year, 50 touches, 186 yards rushing. He's averaging 3.72 yards a pop. He's averaging less than 4 yards a pop. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let us not give him the legs to go off on us. Why do I say that? Because we tend to give up a lot of points. Excuse me. We tend to give up a lot of yardage to these good running backs. Derrick Henry was one of them. They ran for 230 plus yards on us. Obviously, we slowed down the Jets just enough. I think the Jets just had 100 yards even. And then obviously the Miami Dolphins ran for $130 on us. So we're it's not like we're top of the notch best team defending the run. We're not. We are absolutely not. That some might say is our weakness. I mean, being Ed Oliver being out, Matt Milano being out, that could create some, some hope for the Saints to say, you know what, we might have some. Bro, we got to silence that right off the rip. Silence that right off the rip and get up on them early. That there's not much to this game. I mean, I don't want to sound like, well, it's not going to take a whole lot, but it's really simple. It's really simple. Josh has got to do what he's got to do. James Cook has got to do what he's got to do. Bring the points up on early, and then say, Spencer Rattler, bring it. Show me what you got. Rip that pill all over the field. And the question will become, how many interceptions, how many sacks will the Bills be producing? This is one of those games where it's going to be a stat padding game. Should be. But if we F around and start slow, we F around and allow them to, I don't know, get a fluke touchdown early, I don't know, a kick return touchdown for 7. The Miami Dolphins nearly did it on the first rip. But like the negative side of me, I don't want to call it the negative side of me, but the side that is always looking at from both sides, I can see stupid things that happen like that. A special teams play that gives them a little bit of something, and all of a sudden we're looking at a ball game. Bills are up 17-14 at the half. What? I might as well just say, hey, remember that MVP talk I was talking about? The double, you know what I mean? Josh Allen's going to double up as being the MVP? Yo, scrap that. We can't even put these guys away early? Bro, we should be able to put these boys out early. Big time. We'll see. Now, I got a couple things that I'm going to I got a couple things that I gotta touch on. And by the way, when Zbot gets in here, by the way, because he says he's just cleaning himself up and all that stuff, do me a favor, rip him. Give him a new one. Say, yo, what's going on with you, man? Where's your responsibilities at? You don't know what you're supposed to be doing? You leaving your partner out to dry? What's going on? Not that I can't handle myself. You guys know what time it is. Rip his ass. Get on his ass when he gets in here. Anyways, that's for another time. But we should be able to handle Saints, no problem. We absolutely should. So I'm looking at Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler this year, 80 completions out of 119. Right now, he's throwing at a 67% completion percentage. He's thrown for 639 yards, 5 yards a pop. He's got 4 touchdown passes. He's only got 1 interception. All right, so he's doing a decent job taking care of the football, but it's just we got to handle them. There's just won't be any excuses. He's already been sacked 6 times this year, so it's not like he can't be got. The O-line isn't saying a whole lot. They do have a decent coach that's got a good mind. So I'm not sweating. I'm not saying that. I mean, it should be a cakewalk, but like the Bills are too strong. We should be able to handle them, no problem. We have an offense that puts up 30 points with ease. This should be no different. This is what I'm saying, people. Right? They got a couple injuries that they're dealing with themselves that I've got to come up with. Shout out to my guy, the Thigh Doc. Thigh Doc he's got an article out right now. He's got everything. He's got the injury update for the Bills, who's in, who's out, and he's also got a list of the guys that are going to be out for the Saints. If you guys remember correctly, Chase Young was a guy that they brought onto that squad. He's out. He won't be playing, right? He's supposed to be the pass rush specialist. He's out. I'm not saying they don't got no dogs on there. They still got some. They still have some dogs out there, but just not like ours, right? They got Demario Davis out there still playing. You got Cam Jordan still out there. That brother's still out there doing his thing. He's got a sack and a half this year. So they're still going to be doing it. They're still going to be up and running and doing what they need to do. But it's not something that we should be going, oh, watch out for them Saints. They rolling. Who they? Who are they? Is what we should be saying after we're done with them. Who are these guys? Like, how did they come up? How did they come to our house and trying to do stuff? This is what I'm trying to get to. So that being said, there are going to be several things that we got to do. Now, I'll get more on the Saints in just a little bit. What I do want to get into is what we want to see going into this game. What is it that we want to see going into this game? Now, we know Ed Oliver's out. You know, Milano's out. So it's going to be the Bernard Dorian Williams show and sprinkled in with Shaq Thompson. We know we're going to get that. We were talking earlier, if you guys caught the Wednesday show with myself and my guy Thigh Dog, we were wondering, what is the status from Max Hairston? Will we see Max Hairston jumping into this game? The answer is no, we will not. They still have to activate him. There's still a 21-day window where they say, all right, let's monitor him, see what's going on. All right, is he ready? All right, let's go. I don't know if he's ready just yet. First day, he was just lightly jogging on the one leg and kind of doing some stuff. Second day, there was some lateral movement. There was some backpedaling. So a little bit more. It looked decent, but not where you're confident enough to say, all right, if we need you to jump in right now, jump right in. Can't see that happening anytime soon. So we've got to hold off on hoping that Maxwell Hairston's going to be playing anytime soon. I'd say give it another week. I'd say give it another 2, in my opinion. Give another 2 just based on what I saw and based on what I'm hearing and listening to my guy, the Thigh Dog. It all depends. And these guys are young, man. You know how we are. When we were young, we were 20, 21, 22. It didn't take a whole lot for us to kind of, bounce back up and get back into it. I mean, when you 35 plus, 40 plus, you 45 plus, things a little different. Things hit a little different. So that's just the way I see it. So what is it that I want to see this game? To be honest with you, I feel like we haven't had the consistent pass rush that we need. I just don't feel we've had the consistent pass rush that we need. Other than, you mean the flash play from Joey Bosa, you know what I'm saying, during the Jets game? He was on fire, just could not be handled. Not a whole lot we've done yet. We haven't done a whole lot to really say, oh, that pass rush is crazy. The amount of money that we've put into that defensive line, we can't say that pass rush is crazy. We haven't seen it yet. Now, in a game like this is where you want to exercise all your boys. Deion Walker, get in there. TJ Sanders, I want to see a little bit more from TJ Sanders. With Ed Oliver being out, this is where you want to jump in. This is where you want to be. You want to be able to make a name for yourself because Deion Walker is outshining you. Not a bad thing. I'll take it. But he's outshining you. The second rounder should be the one, you know what I'm saying, making these developmental moves and showing out. Haven't seen that yet. I want to see this defensive line really make things very uncomfortable for Spencer Rattler to the point where they say, yo, Spencer, I think we're going to call it quits, bro. Tyler Shook's coming in now. I think it's going to be the Tyler Shook. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of game that I'm looking forward to. Don't let Spencer Rattler finish the game. Get them to put the rookie in and have them in disarray. Have them bouncing around and figure out what they're trying to do. Or just strictly, they might just see Spencer Rattler the whole game, and we may not even see Tyler Shook. Point is, I need to see a lot more from our pass rush. I just don't feel that we're not doing enough. We're simply not doing enough. When and I'll get my man Zbot's thoughts on it just tomorrow. I'll let him kind of clear the cobwebs when he's ready. Get your audio right. Get your audio right, kid. I don't want to hear because they're gonna let you have it. All right, I just let you jump in when you're ready to jump in, brother. So that being said,
how about a nice segue in? How about you bring your brother in? You say, how about, hey, here's Z-Bot. I'll set the stage for him. I'll bring him in. All I get is get your audio right. Get your audio right, he says. That's all I get.
By the way.
Why is that all I get? How about a nice segue? And now I got to come in and do a hard cut.
You know what? But this is what I love about it because hard cut and we don't do anything soft around here, baby. We go hard all the time. And you got a hard cut in here, right? A little C-jab stepping right to the rim. And you're right to the rim. Dude. I love it. I'm not going to set you up for a nice shot. Listen, cut to the rim, baby.
I just took one of those naps where you woke up and you don't know what millennium it is. I'm not even saying just what day it is. I didn't know what time. I didn't know if I had slept to the point where I had been hibernating and my family's been gone for 4 generations. Like I just that's what I just had happen.
You got caught in the rapture.
I woke up and I guess I woke up, dude, and I literally, it took me probably 2 full minutes to fully understand who I was as a person.
Everyone's had one of those naps where it's just so good. You're like, yo, what's happening?
Well,
you go downstairs and be like, yo, did I get left behind? Until you're like, oh, it's just me.
Dude, I thought I might have like froze to death and woke up in like another generation.
You know what that tells me? That tells me you needed that sleep. You needed it.
Well, you know, I have a bad habit of staying up and working for like 3 days straight and then finally sleeping at like noon on a random weekday. And that's what I did.
Well, I'll tell you this. I was just telling the folks, I was like, you don't have the hours of a regular dude. No. Your hours are jacked up. I was telling him there are times where I was working night shift and I was just kind of, tossing stuff in the group chat. And I see a bubble, blah, blah, blah. I was like, what? This guy's still doing up. He's like, dude, I'm going to be up for another 6 or 7 hours. And I'm talking about this is 4 a.m. I was like, this guy's an animal. Welcome back, buddy. Welcome back, everybody.
Good to see you.
Zbot, ladies and gentlemen, Zbot.
What is this big QR code? Is that just on my end or is that on your end too?
Well, you know what? It's pretty cool because this thing has this. I'm trying it right now, but it's got this QR code that we can. If you guys click this QR code, by the way, it brings you. If some folks are always constantly asking, "How do I become a member? How do I become a member?" This is that simple. Take your phone, pop that. It's that simple. And nice. If you guys are feeling froggy today, you be the first to use our QR code and jump in there. We'd love to have you. We'd love to have you. So that's what the QR code is. So we're just trying it out.
I didn't know if my computer was glitching out or whatever. But
nice. Where am I? What millennium am I in?
I'm telling you, I'm still trying to get my bearings, but I'm good.
Absolutely. Well, listen, while you're here, I'm gonna have to switch things up a little bit.
Oh, that feels good.
We gotta switch things up a little bit. So get things back into the swing of things. So basically, I didn't really get too much into it.
Thank God, by the way. I looked at the phone, and Rico was trying to get a hold of me when he texted me with the iPhone and the droid. He knows not to text me on that damn droid. So when he texts me on that thing, I'm like, uh-oh. And the problem is I go to bed and Caroline's out with her friends tonight. They're doing a taste of the world. By the way, tomorrow, guess what tomorrow is?
Talk to me.
The big
one. I do know what it is.
Can you believe that?
Ladies
1 year anniversary.
It is Zbot's 1 year anniversary with his lovely bride, Miss Caroline. 1 year. There, yo. That deserves some love. That deserves some love. 1 year. So 1 year in, is it bliss?
Dude, I cannot believe it's been a year. That is insanity to me. That is insane. We can't even. And by the way, we had a busy year, right?
Oh,
I mean, seriously, tomorrow's a year and a month away from Baby Bot coming to reality. I can't fathom how that I cannot fathom that though. I really cannot wrap my head around it.
This is the beginning, and it is. I mean, people that are in this chat, and it starts with age, children, and all that other stuff, and the job that you've been at. You turn around, you're gonna be saying, it just blew by.
I know.
I'm already. He's already 4, or she's already 6. Like,
here we are, first day of college. Oh, you just had that recently, right? So it's just like
first day of college. What's happening, dude? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But congratulations, man! Because first year, you're saying there's gonna be there's some things that you guys are gonna be experiencing, some new things, and it's just a beautiful thing, man. You grow with your person.
Well, it's so odd because you asked me like how was it? Was it bliss or whatever? Here's the weird thing. So tomorrow is our first wedding anniversary, but April is our 10th year together, our 10th year dating anniversary. So like, you look at it and you're like, how was the first year of marriage? And I was like, and personally, I'm like, it's been like the last 8 years, really to me, like that was the odd thing. Because I was telling you, like when we got married, everybody's like, how does it feel? And I'm like, I got to tell you, man, I no different because we've just been together for so long. And I think people do get married. Maybe they used to more often than not. I don't think I see a whole lot of this now, at least in my own circle. But I think people used to get married a little sooner. in their relationship or whatever else. But I think it's just because me and her had met so young.
For sure.
We were together 10 years and we were still only 27. So
little college sweethearts.
College sweethearts. Yeah.
Love it.
But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead. Go what you can say.
No, I was going to say I brought Caroline up because she's out actually tonight with her friends doing a taste of the world. They're having a party where everybody brings a dish from a different area, which I think is genius. I've never even thought to do that. It sounds awesome. Great. So someone's bringing like Chinese food, Mexican food, Indian food. They got every little crevice just locked in. But she didn't give me an alarm, which is odd. So I didn't have, so when I woke up and saw your text, I'm like, dude, because I really wanted to do a show tonight. And I'm like, what time? So the fact that you had only started like 10 minutes prior was like, oh, thank God. I actually woke up at a decent time.
I was doing it's crazy because your anniversary is always going to be tied to Jenna's birthday, because Jenna's birthday.
Yes.
What are we, the 26th today?
Yeah, and my dad's is tomorrow as well, because they have this almost
Jenna's
the same birthday.
Was yesterday, so she went away for the weekend with her girls. So guess what? I'm doing daddy duty. So I'm putting the little guy down. He's giving me the hardest time ever. And then one of my other girls wanted to go to a friend's hockey game. I was like, "What, you guys go watch hockey? All right, bet." So I'm waiting for her. I got to be the dad to wait for her. She gets home, and I'm like all over the place. So I was like, you know what? By the time that I get started, maybe he'll be awake and he'll be ready to go. He's in a deep slumber. Well, welcome back, big fella. Welcome back.
And one more thing, because by the way, happy belated to Jenna. And you're always very good, by the way. Not that you shouldn't be, but you're always good at like letting Jenna go do her thing when she's got her, like her events that come up, which I think is great. You're always like, because I feel like it's tough for with you guys with the little one and just kids in general. It's tough to get out of the house solo. So that's cool that you guys do that.
You gotta let your person be the person that they were before that. That's one. I gotta keep it real. For those that are in relationships, don't be trying to bottle up your person.
Totally.
You know what I mean, now that we're married, you can't do all those things you were doing. You got to chill out. Well, hold on. Moderation. Moderation. You know what I'm saying? Go do your thing, handle your business, and then we go from there. I mean, I just did come back from Buffalo.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
Same.
There's a little give and take. That's what it's going to come down to. It's got to come down to give and take.
But I noticed something, and I had to ask you about it because I'm in the same boat as you here. And I've done this many a time, and every time I do it, I'm wondering to myself, what am I doing? I saw you came home with the crumble cookie. Now, I didn't know they had the crumble cookie out in Nova Scotia, because oftentimes I'll bring something up and you'll be like, oh, we don't have that out here. Oh, this website, I can't use that out here. So I noticed the crumble cookie, they've gone international. I got to ask you, how do you feel getting out of the car, walking into Crumble Cookie, walking in, spending, what is it, $30 on 6 cookies, and then walking out of there with that big box? Do you think to yourself, man, what am I doing right now?
It's absolutely gross. So first and foremost, with this Crumble Cookie, the one that we have in all of Nova Scotia is about 20 minutes from my place. Okay. Place called Dartmouth Crossing. So when it first opened up, there was no point in going. The thing was wrapped around the building for people that want a $7 cookie, because that's what it is. It's a $7 cookie. It's gross, isn't it? $7 cookie. So long story short, I love cookies. I'm a cookie guy. Don't give me a chocolate bar and candy and all that stuff. I'm a cookie guy. You know what I'm saying? Come with a cookie monster. That's what I love. That's what I am. So when she was like, yo, can you go pick up some crumble cookie? I was like, with pleasure. With pleasure. So picked up the cookies, and some of them are hit and miss. You got some themes where you're like, what? I mean, I guess I'll try it. So it was great. We had it. The kids love it. And when you have kids that are on TikTok, and TikTok, all they do is crumble this and crumble that, I got no choice. I've been bombarded with this crumble. So I'm a crumble guy. I don't like going. I just want to just give me a half a cookie and call it a day. But I'm in on cookies, man. I'm a cookie guy, man. If you give me a basket of cookies, I'm in.
100%. The thing with crumble cookie, though, is I've never seen anything quite like it. Because you just mentioned it, the social media. I've never seen a company simply become what it became because of just TikTok or whatever and that's it, right? I think that this company was valued at what is it here? They got a valuation of 150 million selling cookies, and the crazy thing is those cookies have like a daily caloric intakes worth of calories in them when you eat them, and I can't ever like wrap my head around how people eat more than one, because you take like 2 bites of one of those things. And it's like, you might as well have sat down and have a meal. They're huge. It's unbelievable.
I'll take the Costco cookies over crumble cookie. The Costco's got this double chocolate chip, 860 calories. I'll take that all day. Not good for you. Not great for you. I've been doing all right this last couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? I've been pretty damn good. For this birthday weekend, I've been not so great. But
last week was tough in Buffalo. I even told you, you know me, if I took one meal to the deserted island, it would be chicken wings and blue cheese. I don't think I've eaten wings in that capacity, maybe ever. I think I had it for every meal. Every single time I turned around, I was eating one.
I told people I got to chill on the chicken wings. I've never seen so much chicken wings in my life. Sauces and different shit. First of all, stop. This goes to people here as well, but most of y'all in America, there's chicken wings, and then there's chicken nuggets. Don't try to pass chicken wings as a what do you call them, bites?
The boneless
wings.
Yeah, you don't have to tell anybody that in here. They know
it's a chicken nugget passed as a boneless wing. Are you kidding me?
Boneless wing is chicken. It's the adult way to order a chicken nugget, Rico.
Order boneless wings, please. How do you live with yourself?
I gotta tell you, it's like when you walk into someone, you know, you love somebody. Oh, you go to their house for the first time. Oh man, like you're great friends or whatever. You go in the bathroom, and they got 1-ply toilet paper, and you're like, man, how are you living like this? When I go out with you, and we've never ordered before, right? And I love this guy. He's the best. Yeah, I'll take a dozen boneless, and I'm looking like, oh no.
Confidently.
Yeah, and you're like, no, dude, this guy was awesome. No way, he's a boneless wing guy, right? Yeah, that can't be. Listen, I understand liking them. Who doesn't like fried nuggets of chicken? We all do. Okay. I mean, come on.
Call it what it is. Just call it what it is.
It's just. Yes, it is chicken nuggets. It is chicken nuggets. You're ordering an adult version of chicken nuggets. That's what it is.
My man, Money Mitch gets it. I mean, Lou, I get it. Don't come and tell me you got boneless wings. But the first time I heard about boneless wings was when I went to Pizza Hut years ago. They're like, would you like boneless wings or chicken wings? What? What the heck is a boneless wing? Please stop that and get out of my face. I won't do that.
Oh, man.
Anyway, it was great to fellowship and great to have a good time with you. We didn't get a chance to kind of recount our weekend together, but it was a great week nonetheless. Watching our Bills do what they do, fantastic. Always a good time.
How incredible was that? That was just off the charts. I was telling everybody last week, I know you did too, because I stopped in. Can't say enough about how amazing that was from top to bottom. Not best, obviously top level, meeting everybody. That was the best of the best, and just the whole experience was amazing, and it was great. On top of the W, a little harder than we thought it was going to be for a little while there. I don't know if Rico told you, Rico was getting a little claustrophobic up in that booth. So when we were getting down to crunch time, man, Rico was playing 3-tech over in the aisleway, which I love.
2-point stance.
I wanted to join you. The problem was we couldn't have 2 of us over there. And it was taking everything in me. Dan even told me, he goes, because I had told Dan before, he's like, why don't you do the game reaction? I'm like, well, Pierre does it, but I said, on top of that, I don't think I could do it because I lose my mind. Yep. And I also just get very, very, I'm on an emotional roller coaster. And he told me, he's like, I looked over at you and you were just like this. When Miami scored, you were just silent. I'm like, yeah, dude. So yeah. I wanted to go over there and get down a 3-point stance with you, but I figured only one of us could, and we got it done. Thank God.
Would you do a suite again if they said, hey man, we got tickets on the, I don't want to say 50-yard line, because 50-yard line is like too really close. So you want to be a little further up. I don't know what the best seats are. If somebody were to say what the best seats are, probably like in the 100 section where you could just get everything. Suites, or that money spot in the stadium. I don't know what it is, but that money spot in the stadium. If they gave you that, what choice would you? What direction would you go?
Listen, don't get me wrong. That was awesome because you had an incredible view. You were with the set group of people you went with, and that was cool in itself. It was an experience that I absolutely loved having. Would I want to watch a game like that consistently? Absolutely not. The silence in there, I couldn't get over. I couldn't get over how deafeningly quiet it was. You couldn't hear anything on the other side of that glass. Whoever's manufacturing that glass, give that dude a Pulitzer Prize or whatever. Give him some sort of unbelievable. You couldn't. Pulitzer, by the way, isn't Pulitzer like the prize you get for writing a book? So don't give him the Pulitzer Prize, but give him something, because that was just an absolute marvel of ingenuity. That glass. I could not fathom how every time the place was rocking, the music was blaring, the third down horns going off, you couldn't hear anything. So in a way, Rico, it almost felt like you weren't at the stadium.
Yes.
So I loved the experience. But if you're talking like, say you're there, say the Bills get to the AFC Championship at home this year, it's fourth quarter, they're playing the Chiefs or Baltimore or whatever, you wouldn't be encapsulated within the environment of that stadium, even though you are directly in it in one of the best vantage points within the stadium.
Yep.
Just the experience is so different. I would much rather, if I had the choice, be out amongst the mafia. I mean, there's no question about it. That's how I look at it.
By the way, shout out to Michelle. If you remember Michelle, that was, I think that was Donut's sister. The fact that I remember Donut, you got to remember them. So shout out to Michelle. She was loud as ever. Had a great old time. Shout out to you, Michelle. What's happening, girl?
She was battling that Dolphins fan behind us. Holy moly. My man was singing.
Or was he ever? So speaking of singing, there's a whole lot of singing that happens in New Orleans. You know what I mean? Because when you go to New Orleans,
nice.
When the Saints.
Well done.
When the Saints go marching into
I'll be marching to Pretoria when the Saints go marching. We sang that middle school choir. That's why I know every word to that song. Middle school choir. That was one of our songs for the concert.
I had to go back to my choir days and give you guys the bass. I had to give you that bass, man. But here's the deal. These boys are coming to town. Have you given any thought to the Saints whatsoever? Is this one of those games where it's, boy, this could be a letdown game? Could it be a letdown game? Are the Bills going to play down to the Saints? Would they dare piss off Bills Mafia and make them have this sitting on the edge of the seats? I don't anticipate that it's going to be this way, but sometimes them's the breaks. And we're going to get everyone's best, no matter how you want to slice it. We still got to handle business. So your thoughts on these Saints coming to town, and what are the likelihoods of the Bills playing down?
Well, the Saints might be coming and marching in, but they'll be shortly marching out afterwards. I haven't. I mean, come on. Listen, I'm hearing trap game, right? There's a difference between a trap game and being what was a 17-point favorite at one point in the week. I had tweeted out that I thought that the Bills could potentially put up 70 points in this game if they wanted to. The Saints defense right now, in a myriad of different ways, is one of the poorer defenses in the league. So if the Bills offense wanted to go out and have Joe Brady empty the bag of tricks, which of course they won't, this could be a beatdown of epic proportions. And I had people pushing back on me, say, any given Sunday, which I get, right? I mean, it is any given Sunday. The Bills won with Josh Allen his rookie year when they were a 17-point favorite in the elite game against the Minnesota Vikings on the road. It's possible. But that was one of the biggest upsets in NFL history in terms of the point spread. That is what you'd be looking at Sunday, folks, if the Buffalo Bills lost to Spencer Rattler, who's 0-9 as a NFL starter. He's never won a game as a starter. You're looking at a game that's considered to be this big of a lopsided margin. I was having people tell me that, hey, the Browns just beat the Packers this past weekend. The Browns were a 7-point underdog in that game. Do you understand the difference between being viewed as a 7-point underdog and a 17-point underdog? If you were to win a game by 7, you'd walk away saying, man, that game was probably pretty tight. Maybe they won it on the last drive. Who knows? 17 points, you look at that game and say, oh, yeah, they worked them. In the NFL, a 17-point margin is a blowout. You don't see a whole lot of 30-0 like we saw the Panthers beat the Saints by last week. You don't see it a ton. I mean, you do see it, but it's not like you're seeing it routinely. You know, you watch college football every week, you're going to get 10, 15 teams that win by 20, 30 points. In the NFL, that's just not how it works. And as Mitch is saying here, you know, the Browns defense might be the best in the league. So people are looking at the Browns saying they had no business beating the Packers. No, they probably didn't, and they probably shouldn't. The Packers definitely whizzed down their leg in that game. But the point is, the Browns were considered to be nearly 10 points closer to that of the Packers than the Saints are to the Bills this upcoming weekend. The Bills would have to implode in a way in which you've never seen for them to lose this game. So I'm looking at a trap game, or is there more than meets the eye here? I would hear you out next week against New England, divisional game, that team coming to Buffalo on a Sunday night. Mike Vrabel's got them amped up. Maybe I'd hear you out. Monday night against the Falcons on the road, Bijan Robinson, one of the best running backs in the league. Maybe he gets going against Buffalo. Things go south. Maybe I could hear you out there. But this upcoming weekend in Buffalo, where they have just become a team that does not lose in the 7-1-6, they have that streak going at home right now, haven't lost in what feels like a lifetime there. You think it's going to be against this team in this moment of 10 days rest, a team that just lost to Sam Darnold and company, who we watched on Thursday Night Football, 44-13. There's just, I like to think about what would have to happen in order for the Bills to drop one every time we get ready for a game. I can't wrap my mind around it, Rico. This team doesn't turn the ball over. They'd have to turn the ball over 4 or 5 times in this game for the Saints to win it. That's just how I see it.
So let me ask you a question. If I were to ask you to define as best you can what a trap game is, what is a trap game? How do you define a trap game?
So a trap game to me, there's a variety of ways it can turn into one. I think sometimes when you are sandwiched in between 2 huge games, that can be a trap game. So say if the Bills were playing the Ravens last week, then the Saints Sunday, then had the Chiefs next week, maybe you look at that and say, you're coming off of a major rivalry game against one of the best teams in the league, a team that you go toe-to-toe with annually now. Then you're going against your biggest rival in the entire sport. Maybe you're overlooking the Saints. Or a trap game could be you're going up against a team that isn't bad by any stretch. They're just not considered to be great. So you're going up against, I think New England's a really good example of that, or Atlanta. That's why I brought up those two. They're not great teams, but they're good enough on any given Sunday to give you a run. This Saints team has proven that they're just not there yet. They don't have the talent to compete with the Buffalo Bills for a 60-minute game. They just don't. When you're thinking of a trap game, you're thinking of a game that you can somewhat fathom something going wrong and losing, even though everybody, if you were to ask them to predict the game, would pick the Bills, just say for instance. So that's how I view a trap game, where everyone's got you winning, but there's elements to it where you could sit back and say, yeah, I could see where this could go a bit south. This is where I don't define this as a trap game, because they're coming off 10 days rest. They're going into another home game next week against an opponent that they're going to be at least a touchdown favorite against in New England. The home record, of course, what it's been, and this team's just an uncanny ability to play clean football while also forcing the turnover battle. I think they've won the turnover battle 24 consecutive games, something like that. An insane streak that they're on. So there's just nothing about this game, Rico, that has the elements of a trap game. I think that there's other games where I'd hear you out coming down the stretch here. This is not one of them.
Interesting, because I'm looking at this as a and I get it. If you were playing a big game, like, I don't know, let's say the Eagles were next, then you'd like, okay, let's just get rid of the Saints and just get going. But the Saints are like, no, we're going to give you our best. This could be a trap game, because not only are we playing a game that we should be able to handle business, but we're going against the New England Patriots, a division team. We have an opportunity to go up heavy in the AFC East. We've taken down the Jets. We've taken down the Dolphins. We have an opportunity to take down the Patriots. Not that we're looking forward to playing the Patriots, but I hope they don't look at it as if, let's just get through these Saints and get to the Saints. What I love about, to the Patriots, what I love about this team is so well disciplined that I don't think we ever fall for trap games. We just play down to our competition. I don't think we play down because we're looking forward to the other team. It's just that sometimes you're like, because it's the team, they're the Saints, let's just try to get out of this safely, be vanilla, and do what we need to do. And I hope that Joe Brady doesn't dial it back and let's just do our preseason offense and just hope to just do what we need to do. If we win 21-0, let's just call it a day. It doesn't have to be a blowout. F what ESPN is saying, F what Vegas is saying. Let's just get out there. And I don't want them to do that. I have a feeling they will, but I don't want them to do that. I want them to bury the Saints the same way the Seahawks, when they came in and just absolutely laid it, I think it was the Seahawks that just crushed them.
Mm-hmm.
I want the Bills to do the same. Something tells me they just want to just get in there, do the job, and get out safely. Bro, injuries are going to happen whether you like it or not. It's just what it is. But I hope we come in and bury the Saints. You got to. So that way, you're primed and ready to now take on your division foe in the Patriots and handle business. So could this be called a trap game? It's got the makings of it. Because you're going to overlook the Saints. They're not good. The Saints are good, man. Spencer Rattler is terrible. He's not good. Like you said, he's 0-9. I said it earlier. 0-9. Bills, please don't make it 1-9. Please do not make it 1-9, because we will get laughed at and say, oh, so these guys are supposed to be the contenders and they lose to the freaking Saints? We were supposed to blow up the Dolphins, although they're a division team. But, man, we let them hang around more than they should have. We usually handle Tua no problem, but they're going to give us our best. You're going to get the best from the Ravens. You're going to get the best from the Jets. Wasn't good enough. You're going to get the best from the Dolphins, and every team going forward, we're going to get the best of them. So we just got to make sure that we find our formula, our sweet spot, handle business, and get to the next. So this trap game, you want to label it a trap game? Because I'm like you. I don't think I'm quite there to call it a trap game.
No, this would be a collapse. This would be a collapse if the Bills lost. Like, if you're looking at a trap game, once again, I think that you look at it and say, if New England came in and won, you would be stunned, but you'd be like, division opponent, whatever. They're looking to take the next step. Their defense played really well. They forced a couple of mistakes that the Bills are not usually making, and they were able to get it done. Just like for this game, I don't see how they would be able to do it. I just don't think that they're good enough to be able to beat Josh Allen. I don't think Spencer Rattler and that offense is capable of putting up enough points to beat Josh Allen. And I don't think this defense is built to be able to keep the Bills from doing what they do routinely now, and that's scoring 30 points. So this would be a collapse. And I once again, I wonder in my head what would have to happen for them to lose. And it would probably have to be some special teams blunders, right? Where you're fumbling on the kickoff, or, you muff a punt, something like that. Spencer Rattler would have to have the game of his life. Alvin Kamara would have to be back to vintage prime Alvin Kamara, and the Bills would have to turn the ball over offensively as well. I think that would just have to be the case. So I see what you're saying, because it would be a letdown, and I think you could probably find a way to define any letdown game as a trap game. But not only would this be a letdown, Rico, this would literally be a historic letdown if they lost. It would be one of the biggest upsets ever based on the spread.
Would it ever be? And my man Signify knows it's like it's such a big upset that if we lose to the Saints, don't even let this brother get back into the locker room, send him packing. He says fire McDermott if we lose to the Saints. Listen, man, anything can happen any given Sunday, but it can't be this Sunday. It just can't be this Sunday. That's the only way I can look at it.
It can't be really any upcoming Sunday here. Honestly, you look at the slate here. It can't be any of these upcoming Sundays in my mind right now. I mean, or Monday, because the Monday game after next week, it's not set up for the Bills to lose. The Bills lose. If the Bills lose prior to the Chiefs game, or even lose the Chiefs game, I got to see what they look like this week with Xavier Worthy back. If they look any better, if they have any more of a semblance on offense. But I'm willing to go as far as to say that I just can't see them losing that game either. I'll include it, though, because it still is the Chiefs. I mean, that's obviously a team that's on a different level, regardless of how they're playing right now, than the other opponents the Bills have coming up. But there really is no excuse for the Bills to lose any of their upcoming games up until that Carolina game. You are the superior opponent to a significant degree over the next month of football.
I truly do love that. By the way, you know what else I love? I love that Michelle Lucky Kanish has become a member. That is awesome. Appreciate the love from our girl Michelle. Isn't it lovely when it doesn't feel like, I mean, you're just a stranger? You're like family to us now, girl. You're like family to us. So appreciate the love, always with the support. Tell your bro we say what's up. Mr. Donut, what's happening? And we'll go from there. So speaking of the Saints, I want to kind of jump into the Saints in what it looks like. By the way, my man Led Robster says, yo, this will not be Rattler's breakout game with the Saints. It will be his break up game with the Saints. And that's what I was saying earlier. We have to make it to the point where they do break up with him and say, you know what? We're going to give him the Russell Wilson / Jackson Dart treatment. All right, we've seen enough from Russell Wilson. We're out of here. By the way, we're going to talk about Russell Wilson a little later in the segment. But I think this might be the game where they say, all right, Spencer, we've seen enough. Tyler, take over. And we'll go from there. So 0-10 as a starter, just become a backup somewhere and call it a day. Your days are numbered. Poor guy, man. It's just rough. Rough for the Saints, man. They don't just having no quarterback. I don't know. I still question to this day how we did it. But I gotta ask you, how did we do it for so long, not having a franchise quarterback, and we show up every Sunday, every week, talking about this team and how we can do this, and we gotta believe in Nate Peterman, we gotta believe in Tyrod Taylor, dude. To this day, it's been so long. It's been almost a decade because Josh is year 8 now. How do we do it? So the Saints are going through it right now. I feel for them. But you got to go through it.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I don't know. And there's part of me that sits around questioning how I'm going to do it once this is over. I'm already like, you ever like, I'm just weird like this, but you ever, because when you have pets, you know that inevitably at some point, like you're going to outlive the pet more than likely. So sometimes you look at your pet and you be like, oh, I got to savor. You just love them. And you sit there and you look at them like, I got to savor every moment here. Even though I probably have another 14 years here, I got to savor every second of it. When I'm watching Josh Allen, that's how I feel. And when I'm watching the rest of the league, I feel it even more so. I feel like I've been watching the worst team in the league on any given night basis the last 4 weeks. Last night, the Arizona Cardinals, yes, they came back. But for 3 quarters, that team was unwatchable offensively. How many of these teams right now are not only bad, but they're unwatchably bad? And more often than not, it has a lot to do with the quarterback play. And I don't know how we did it. It is the delusion of being a fan where you work yourself up to believe in things that are just beyond comprehension. You're watching some of these teams right now. And that, by the way, is with Kyler Murray, who isn't a bad quarterback. He certainly hasn't become what they drafted him to be. But that's still a notch above what other quarterback play is in the league. And it's still just unwatchable football. We don't know how lucky we have it. I think to some degree we do, but I think in moments like that, you have to truly understand how lucky we do have it because it is brutal out there. It is horrific out there without having one of these guys. And I'm not even talking about having a decent team. I'm talking about having one of these guys, because even having a decent team oftentimes can even be more frustrating because they're going to win enough to probably win themselves out a decent draft capital and not be able to fix this. And we'll talk about Tua a little later on because I'm going viral on Twitter all of a sudden about the whole Tua situation with him and Cam Newton there. Woke up to the tweet's got 20,000 likes, I think, right now. Because the Tua,
I gotta pull this up.
The Tua situation's a perfect example, and it's kind of similar to Kyler Murray last night, where it's not necessarily bad quarterback play or where you're looking at other teams in the league and you're already fully cognizant of the fact that you are looking for another quarterback at any given time. Some of these teams aren't. Some of these teams are committed to the quarterback that isn't considered to be a top level quarterback. The Miami Dolphins are certainly one of them. And you're in that position, and it's such a tough spot to be in because you know that the gap between that and the superior quarterback play that the Bills have and the top teams in the league have is so noticeable that even with decent quarterback play, it's still just night and day, and you're still not really close to competing towards the top of the mountain. It's a really, really tough spot to be in, most teams right now in the league are. I mean, you look around the league, what would you say? 2/3 of the team right now, because 2/3 of the league right now, because of the quarterback play, is incapable of reaching a Super Bowl, is incapable. And maybe it's been like that forever, but right now it really does feel as though the margin has never been wider, because you're watching games week in and week out where you almost feel like you're watching a different sport. You feel like you're watching a different sport because of what you're seeing out on the field, the difference in talent level from game to game.
It absolutely does feel this way. That's why I was wondering to myself, how do we do it with just, you know what, we'll get them next week. Every week we did that. Oh, we were so close. And here's what killed us the most. The guys that we were trotting out, they weren't horrible, but they just weren't good enough to just really get us there consistently. So every game, they'd get us close enough just for us to just feel the heartbreak. I think the closest quarterback that we had that gave us the hope was honestly Fitzpatrick.
It was Fitz or Tyrod.
It was Fitz. At first, it was Fitzpatrick, because Tyrod was like, we loved it because he was such a different dynamic quarterback. We needed something that could kind of move his legs and do but Fitz we gave him that big time contract. All right, Fitz, we got the guy. He beats New England. We're like, okay. And we believed in him so much that we're like, okay, we're there, but we're not. We know we're not. And then you get someone like Josh Allen. You're like, how the hell did we actually sell ourselves on the guys that we had prior? And I love Fitz. We love Fitz. We love Tyrod. Right, a lot of these we had Thad Lewis, for crying out loud, trotting out there. It's just, we had Tool time going out there.
Damn right we did.
My goodness, the quarterbacks that we've had on this roster, to now that we see this guy he's an A1 player, he's A1 off the field, he's got endorsement through the roof, and he's just a class freaking act. And now that's the guy that's on our court. We actually have a franchise quarterback. What a great feeling it has. I think that's what the Dolphins felt when they had Marino. Like, just love Marino.
You know what I think it is for me too? And this is what I think I'll struggle with most post Josh Allen. I never knew anything else. It's not like I was even 8 years old and the Bills were coming towards the end of a great quarterback run, and then they were going to fall into this period of struggling to find the replacement. I never had even top 15 quarterback play on the Bills in my lifetime until I was really out of college, because Allen hadn't cemented himself into being that until a couple years after being drafted. And Josh Allen was drafted when I was a sophomore in college. So if you look at a junior in college. So if you look at my entire life as a Bills fan, I was post-college graduation by the time the Bills had good quarterback play, which of course turned into great, but still we didn't even have good. At times we had good from week to week. We never had consistently good quarterback play. So I never knew what it was, Rico. All I could do is sit around and say, oh, other teams have this. The Bills just aren't allowed to have it. That's basically how I felt. Like, other teams have this and the Bills just never will. And so you convince yourself every week, well, I have nothing else to cling to, so I'm only going to cling to the hope that I can muster from whatever BS reasoning I'm giving myself, that the defense is good, or this quarterback's going to find a way randomly after not doing it for 5 years to all of a sudden be able to become one of the best quarterbacks in the league or whatever. Something's going to happen. That's how you do it. When you don't know anything else, it's the only way you can do it, Rico. The problem is now, and once again, you look at Josh Allen and you say, 10 more years. That's what you tell yourself, right? So you can just sleep at night.
Oh, yeah.
But what I'll be in, the situation I'll be in post Allen is going to be one that I have never been in before, where you know what this team is with top league quarterback play. And then I don't know if you're ever going to be able to recover not having that and having to go however long. Like, you look at Packers fans, and it's just been a routine transition from good quarterback to good quarterback, great quarterback, great quarterback. Most teams are incapable of doing that. It's way too hard to just seamlessly do that. That's why the Packers are one of the only ones to do it. Look at the Giants post Eli. Look at the Steelers post Big Ben. Look at the New England Patriots post Brady. Like, it is so difficult to do. And not knowing, I think, is probably the best way to be, because once you know what great quarterback on your play on your team looks like, having anything other than that is beyond frustrating. I've also had this same thought on winning a Super Bowl, Rico, because the Bills haven't won one. So we never know what it feels like to win one. And then, of course, move on from that. I wondered the same thing, where it's like, are your expectations you already have them so high for the Bills and they've never won one? What's it going to be like after they win one, where you're just like, every year now, it's just a disappointment, even though prior to that, it was still a disappointment. But hey, you've never won one. So you're always taking the good with the bad because it's always been bad. Once you have the great and you don't get the great again, Rico. So it's just, man, this is what sucks about being a fan, I guess.
So let me ask you, what your earliest memory of the quarterback when you really started to pay attention to the Bills? Not like, I like the Bills because my dad likes the Bills. No. When you really start to pay attention to the Bills, who was the quarterback then?
So my earliest memories,
I just want to get a good idea.
My earliest memories are the the JP Lossman, Trent Edwards type era, right? The navy blue era.
My.
But in terms of core memories and whatever, it was around the Fitz and EJ era.
My God.
That's what it. Yeah.
Let me tell you, I have to say it too, because the people in the chat are gonna be like, oh my gosh. Do you remember Alex Van Pelt?
No, so I remember.
But do you remember seeing Alex Van Pelt play?
No.
My Lord. Todd Collins.
Same thing. No.
Do you remember a little bit of Doug Flutie?
So Doug Flutie was like, I was literally a toddler. So that was like right at the transition of getting into becoming a real fan, obviously.
Bro, I forget that we're years apart.
Yeah.
I totally forget, because Doug Flutie was a G, and people were pissed when he was just getting us wins. And then they're like, we're gonna go with Rob Johnson. Are you freaking kidding me? This guy brings you to where you need to be, and this is what you do to him? You put Rob Johnson in? That's a whole nother John. And so Rob Johnson, you're not familiar with somewhat. What about Drew Bledsoe? When Drew Bledsoe was brought to the Bills, were you like, you didn't know anything?
So Bledsoe was literally the start. Like, I had a Bledsoe jersey. So that's a good one you bring up. Bledsoe would literally be probably that would be like the starting line of my Bills fandom at the Drew Bledsoe era.
Which makes sense, because then that's when we got JP Lossman after that. And then it began with the Kelly Holcombs of the days, and then the Trent Edwards and the freaking Brian Brahms. I can't believe I even mentioned him to remember Brian Brahm, right? So, and then EJ Manuel and so on and so forth. So it's like you didn't see the onslaught of quarterbacks that we had after Jim Kelly. Golly.
No, so Drew Bledsoe took over the team when I was 5. So he was the quarterback from when I was 5 to 8 years old. So that was right around the time where you could somewhat remember. But like I said, I was around 10 years old during the Lossman Edwards era. So that's where I have my real formative memories. And then of course, my young teen, legitimate memories, that was Fitz, EJ. I got to tell you, at one point, I thought Kyle Orton was the best quarterback at one point I'd ever seen wear a Bills jersey. That's where I was at one point in my life.
I'll be real. When we drafted EJ Manuel, although I knew deep down, I was like, this quarterback class is not great, but at least we got a Florida State quarterback that's got a gun for an arm. He can throw it in Buffalo, because that's what they sold us on. He's got such a cannon. He'll cut through the wind and all that stuff. He'll be great, right? I think he's originally out of West Virginia. It doesn't matter. And we had such high hopes, and this is where I can meet you on the same page now, because at this point you knew who EJ Manuel was and all that stuff. But man, the quarterback that we had before, OMG, man, that is crazy. I mean, Thad Lewis, the Kyle Ortons of that. We had Matt Castle. We've gone through some quarterbacks. I didn't even mention. I feel like I'm missing one quarterback. Who was a Kolb? We had dude that busted his knee on the mat. He didn't even get an opportunity to play quarterback for the Bills. He was running into the training camp and running in practice. He slipped on a mat, busted his knee, and that was it. Kevin Kolb. He was supposed to be a quarterback that was supposed to do good things for us. Oh my Lord. Now we have a legitimate franchise quarterback in our guy, Josh Allen. Man, did we ever go through some things, man? And I'll tell you right now, after EJ, I was like, man, if we can't get it that right, what the heck are we going to do? Jeff Toole, Fitzy. When Fitzy came through, I was like, all right, this might be the it. Okay, nope.
Literally.
Here comes Thad Lewis. Here comes Kyle Orton. Holy, here comes Matt Castle, Tyrod, Matt Barkley, Derek Anderson, Nate Peterman.
I mean, we had the Cleveland Browns jersey in the shop window that you've all seen, I'm sure, where you have
I'm exhausted.
The tape going down all the way down to the ankles and then starting back up again, a list of quarterbacks.
Yes.
So
that's what it kind of feels like that's for us.
Yeah. And so to bring it full circle, you're watching now, and I don't know how we did it, to be honest. Because I'm watching other teams. Like last night I was telling my buddies, I never want to see the Arizona Cardinals on my television ever again. After watching that game.
That jersey was god awful.
Oh, you're bugging. No, that was fire. Fire.
Are you kidding me? It literally looked like doo-doo. Like fire. It looked like a dog had diarrhea and went and sneezed and went poop. And Kyler Murray was like, he cut it all over himself. That's what it looked like. Them things were terrible. Are you kidding me?
What's amazing though is the ability for some. See, I don't even know who that is. Who is that? I don't even know who that is.
My gosh.
I don't even know who that is.
It's a nobody. Just Marshall, thank you for that. Thank you for the old school people that are in here that can remember some of the quarterbacks that we've had. Oh my God.
Sounds like I wasn't missing much though when I didn't have any core memories being formed yet.
You absolutely were not, because and the thing is we masked it with having good running backs. So gave you hope. We masked it with having good receivers.
Sure.
Good receivers, good running back, good defenses, never a quarterback. So you always had hope. You always had hope. The defense would get a stop. We give it to the quarterback just to get it done. And then they let us down. Drew Bledsoe, we had a chance to break the drought way back in, what year was it when we played the Pittsburgh Steelers? Freaking Neil O'Donnell and a whole bunch of backups beat us. All we had to do was beat the Steelers and we're in. I can't remember what year that was.
Oh, yeah, no. So, that might be one of my first memories. Let me tell you a story about that game. That might be one of my first memories as a fan, even though I wasn't watching actively. My dad tells this story all the time. In fact, so much so that I can partially remember the day. I had a birthday party for my neighbor that I was at. It was at a bowling alley. And my dad had to watch the game at the bowling alley. And he said all they had to do was beat the Pittsburgh Steelers backups to get into the playoffs. And they lost. And he has brought that up so many times that I do somewhat remember. And I think at the time I was maybe 6, being at that bowling alley and watching the debacle go down on whatever it was, an 18-inch Magnavox TV at some bowling alley in Rochester.
You're always going to remember it. And let me tell you, 2004. And this was when Fast Willie Parker was born. Willie Parker was an absolute thorn in our side. I'm sick to my stomach thinking about it right now. Golly, man. Anyway, we are way past that now. We got ourselves a franchise quarterback. We have ourselves a damn good tailback. We have a defense that, listen, PTSD is an understatement, my friend. It's an understatement. Bills fans, we've been through a lot. That's why people like us, because they know we've been through some things. So when we're having success right now, some might say that we don't know how to act. Like my brother is like, you guys don't know how to act. Act accordingly. Act like you guys have been here before. And some of us in this chat are going to say, I don't remember. I don't remember how to act. I just know how to act right now. And we're winning, and I'm going to act a fool sometimes. Man, oh man, oh man. Here we are.
I remember how to act because I know how terrible it was. I don't want to ever go back to that. I was never a full-fledged adult, really, with terrible core. Yeah. So, the next wave of whatever the next drought that will inevitably be within after Josh Allen, I will be, a 30-some-year-old man and a father and a husband. So I will certainly remember. So that's why I'm trying to remember who we have right now, Rico.
Gosh, look at you remember. You know what's gonna be crazy too is we were talking about like man, it's been 1 year anniversary for me and the wife, and you're like, man, this is crazy. Time's gonna fly by. There will be a moment where your daughter or your son is going to say, Dad, can you tell us the last time the Bills were good? You're gonna be like, little Z.
Yeah.
It was such good times. Josh Allen was throwing the rock all over the place, and we won a championship. But little guy or little girl, it's just, we got to go through it. We got to go through it. Were they that good, Daddy? Yes, they were.
Come sit on Dad's lap, and I'll pull up the hologram. Right at that point, we'll have like a hologram, like a TV that you can just go like this, and it'll pop up. And I'll be like, "Let me show you the last time the Bills were competing at the top of the league." And I got gray hair and whatever else.
Buddy, it's gonna be something. And right now, my kids don't know any better. All they know is Daddy's Bills team. Daddy's team is good, and we're always winning. That's all they know. And I'm like, I shed a tear. I'm like, yes, Daddy's team is good right now, but we gotta win a damn championship. And then you got my brother that's reminding me, like, yo, don't forget you guys were bums. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Remember who you were.
And back in my day, when I'm like 80, back in my day, we had Jeff Toole. Sonny, you guys don't know how good you have it now with these robot quarterbacks. It's too good now.
Buddy, the times will be done. So anyway, I know we went down a road that I don't even know how we got here, but we're here. We're here now.
Well, we were talking about the bad quarterback play because that's
Spencer Rattler and all that stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
Totally. So it's funny because I'm looking at these Saints. Bear with me while I kind of read off some of these statistical rankings of where these Saints rank. And I know I'm switching things up a little bit, but I think it's apropos here. So I'm looking at their offense, right? Because defensively, we know we have our weaknesses, right? We tend to give up a couple things on the ground to certain teams, and then we have some moments where somebody's wide open, and you're like, how the heck did that just happen, right? So I'm looking at this offense, this Saints offense. They're scoring less than 16 points a game. They're ranked number 29 in the NFL. Yards per game, 300. They're ranked 19th. Yards per play, 4.4 yards per play, for crying out loud. Okay, they're ranked 28th. Third down conversion rate, they're converting at a 35% rate. We, on the other hand, are allowing teams to convert at a 45% rate. We should be able to get these guys off the freaking field. Okay. Fourth down, 33%. Red zone scoring, they're ranked 20th in the league right now. They're converting on a 50% percentage in the red zone. All right. They're scoring 1.7 touchdowns a game, ladies and gentlemen. Folks, the Bills have to handle these guys. Okay, who's their best player, would you say? I think we'll say offensively is Alvin Kamara. Would you agree with me? Is it Chris Olave?
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
Alvin
Kamara, yeah.
Alvin Kamara. Let's look at rushing statistics. So they're running the ball 38% of the time. Okay, so that they're ranked 24th in the game. So that means we have to get them in pass mode. Don't let the game be close, and don't let Kamara hang around and do what he does, because he's a special player. He's really good. Okay, 3.9 yards per rush, ranked for 22nd. They're rushing the game. They're rushing 26 per game. That's 15th, middle of the pack, right? Rush yards a game, 102, 19th in the league. Okay, so we've got to handle them, no problem. We've got to handle them, no problem. So they're going to be passing the rock. This is where the pass rush is going to have to get after these boys. So I'm looking at these statistics like, boy, we got to handle them. So when we look at the defense, we are already a top offense in this game. Opponent points per game, they're allowing 30 points a game. They're 25th in the league. Yards per game, they're allowing 313. We surpassed that by quite a bit. They're ranked 15th in the league. Opponent points per game, per play. I'm not even going to go there. Yards per play, 5.1, middle of the pack in the league. Third down conversion, what they're allowing teams to convert. They're allowing teams to convert at a 45.9% rate. They're ranked 27th in the league. Here's another one. Red zone defense, they are allowing 80% conversion rate. Bro, when we get there, we've got to go 100%. Every time we get in that red zone, we've got to score and we got to put points. This is the making of a game that we could absolutely handle. Defensive rush. They're allowing 3.6 yards. They're defending at a 3.6 yards a pop. So they're ranked 6th. So defending the run. So they're pretty decent at defending the run. So that's one thing that I'm paying attention to. 6th at 3.6. But opponent rushes per game, 28.7. They're ranked 24th. And then they're allowing 103 yards per game, ranked middle of the pack at 14th. So defensively, they can stop the run pretty decent. But that's not going to be our issue. Josh is going to do what he does. James Cook's going to do what he does. Folks, you're just asking for the Bills to handle business. So that's the Saints. All right, I just want to get these numbers out, and then we can kind of get going. So that's the Saints numbers. So we look at the Bills, and here's where I have issues with our Buffalo Bills. Let me get to where I need to. If it's letting me get to my statistics, no, it's not. But I'll let you jump in there real quick while I load these up. But when I give you those numbers on the Saints, what did anything stand out to you at all, or is this? It didn't matter. We should be able to handle these guys no problem based on what these rankings. They're ranked near the bottom of the league. The Bills should be able to handle you guys, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I mean, it goes even beyond just the individual numbers. Like they're in total, like their team, they have the third most penalties in the entire league. So they have it's the little things on top of just the gameplay. Third most penalties in the league, second worst point differential. They have an even turnover differential, so it's not like they're forcing turnovers. Their defense, in my opinion, is probably their biggest issue beyond their offense and their quarterback play. I mean, Spencer Rattler has been actually okay. He's pretty good against the blitz. It's not like he's, it's not like he's John Elway out there, but he hasn't been horrid. It's just they're not good enough around him for somebody of his stature to be able to overcome the ineptitude that he's surrounded by. They're averaging less than 16 points a game right now. They have two games this year where they've scored 13 points. So collectively, beyond the numbers, it's just everything summed up is it's a very poor football team. And everybody knew going into the game, into the year, this was going to be potentially the worst team in the league. And I think through 3 weeks, the argument is even more valid. I think that's just what they're at right now. Meanwhile, on the other end, it's just the Bills have played 3 games, and in one of those games, they won by 1. Even with that, Rico, they have the third best point differential in the NFL at plus 31. So you have 3 games. They win one of them by 1. Yet the other 2 were so substantial that it wound up being able to give the Bills the third best point differential in the league right now. So you're looking at the third best point differential versus the 31st. The Bills are averaging 34 points per game. The Saints are averaging less than 16. Last time I checked, 16 times 16. Or excuse me, of course I screwed that up. I knew that was going to do that.
You're on a roll. You're on a roll.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Last time I checked, if you doubled 16.
There you go.
It's less than what the Bills are averaging themselves. So if you doubled the Saints' points per game, which would be in their terms right now a historic game, essentially, they were to double their average points per game, they'd still fall nearly a field goal shy of what the Bills are averaging per game themselves. So once again, when I say earlier, this isn't a trap game, this would be a historic collapse. This is what I'm referring to. The Bills in almost every metric are nearly twice as good, if not more, than that of every single area of the game that the Saints are putting out on the field. So this is where I sit here and I think to myself, what would have to happen for the Bills to lose? And they would essentially have to resort to being a very bad football team for 60 minutes because in just about any way you can frame it, the Saints are a bad football team from top to bottom in every category you can really think of.
So, and I'm so glad you brought this up because I'm looking at I found the Bills rankings that I wanted to touch on. And the Bills right now putting up 34 points a game, ranked number 4, 420 yards a game, ranked number 1. Points per play, 0.495. I really don't get that metric there. Yards per play, 6.1 as opposed to these guys at 3.7 or something of that nature. Right? 6 yards a pop per play. That's great. You're getting us into second down and short. This is how successful we've been because of these little things. Thank goodness for James Cook. Right? Here we go. Third down conversion rate. We are at a 45%. These guys are allowing 45%. We're going to do what we normally do. That, sir, is ranked number 5 in the game. Fourth down conversion, we are 100%. We are number 1 in the game. We haven't missed a conversion yet. Red zone scoring. We're at number 10 in the game. We're at a 66.7 red zone scoring. We're scoring 4 touchdowns a game, which gives us number 3 in the league. We are a potent offense. Here's where we could be better. All right. We're allowing 23 points a game. That's ranked 20th. Right. 287 points, 287 yards a game. That's ranked number 9. Here's where I have issues. Okay. Yards per play, 5.5. We're ranked 21st. Okay. Third down conversion, we are ranked 23rd in the league. We're allowing it a 43% rate. We got to be better. We have to be sub 40. We have to be under 40. Fourth down, allowing teams to convert on fourth down, we're ranked 27th. Opponent red zone scoring, we are 27th in the league. We've got to be better in the red zone. That's our prop. 71%. These guys are converting. We've got to be better in the red zone. So if we allow these guys to hang around, it's not like our defense is top notch. I heard somebody say today, I was watching Post Podium podcast, and one was like, but we're a top 10 defense. Hey, just cut it out with that top 10 defense. We're not. Okay, cut it out. We're not there. We've been wanting this team to be where they need to be, but they're not. So we've got to be better. And here's the worst part in all this: defending the run. 48% teams are running on us. We're ranked 28th. 6.2 yards per rush. 6.2 yards per rush we are allowing. That is ranked number 32. We are dead last in letting these guys have big chunk yards on us. I know we have this whole bend but don't break, but golly, we do a lot of bending. Opponent rush per game, 25. They're running the ball 25 times on us per game. We're ranked 10th. Okay. And here's the big one: 156 yards per game on us. We are ranked 32. We are the worst rushing defense in the game in terms of yards allowed. Guys, we've got to be better. We got to be better. So if Alvin Kamara is looking at this, like, yo, we can run the football, guys. This is the hope that these guys are getting. We can run the football. Guys, if we run the football and kill the clock and keep Josh Allen on the sideline, we got a chance. I can go back to the movie Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying we got a chance. I hope we crush those chances. Do not give them those chances. So when we get on the field, we have to be as efficient as possible and handle business. We can't let the Saints hang around. Because if we do let them hang around, it's going to get ugly. And this defense, I don't trust the defense as much as people want. I'll just ask you a simple question. Do you trust this defense?
Well, I trust them against the Saints. I mean, here's how I'm going to put this, right? Really? Those numbers are so skewed because of that Ravens game.
The Ravens game. I get it.
The Jets were saying the same thing you're saying right now. And we were even saying that off the Ravens game. Listen, Breece Hall is a good running back. Justin Fields can move. They are going to want to do the same thing you're talking about right now. Kill the clock, run the football, keep Allen off the field. They couldn't do it. Breece Hall had 29 yards against the Bills, less than 3 yards a carry. Justin Fields had 49, but they couldn't do anything else. He threw the ball for 27 yards in that game. So I'm looking at the Saints, and yeah, they might want to run the football, but do you think Sean McDermott's defense is going to be schemed up on Sunday to respect the pass game of Spencer Rattler? I don't think so. They had no respect for the pass game of Justin Fields. That's why they were able to double down on stopping the run. And look what that resulted in. They couldn't score. They really didn't score until Tyrod came in garbage time. They had 3 points. So I look at Sunday, when you don't have a threat of Lamar Jackson back there, you're able to take away a run game unlike you might be able to against the Ravens. That's why playing teams like Baltimore or Philadelphia is so difficult, because you have to pick your poison. In this game, you can hone in on exactly what you want to. So I'm not worried about the Bills' ability to stop the offense of the Saints on Sunday. We've seen them go up against mediocre offenses and really have a time against them. I know Achane had his moments and certainly did well in a capacity that wasn't to that of Derrick Henry's on last Thursday, but they also completely took Tua away from having a major impact on that game numbers-wise. I thought he was very efficient in his ability to move the football in that game, but the numbers, of course, were nearly non-existent. The Bills' defense has been fine post-Ravens game. It hasn't been great. The biggest issue to me is the third down, the third down defense. It's been bad. I mean, it was horrid against the Miami Dolphins. What's odd?
After 15.
Yeah, and what's odd about that is they might be one of the best defenses in the league on first and second down. That's what's so frustrating about it. I had heard that the Bills are allowing an average third down of 8 yards, meaning they're getting teams That's into terrible. 3rd and 8 on average. So that means their first and second down defense, Rico, is great. But when you're allowing 3rd and 8 on average, that's not great. you're doing the hardest part. That's what's killing me. You're getting them in the toughest situation, and then you're letting them bail themselves out. So if the Bills can turn around, they're getting good pressure right now too. It hasn't necessarily translated into a ton of sacks. They weren't able to sack Tua, but they were able to pressure the living hell out of him. And that's a quarterback, for all Tua's struggles, he does get rid of the football about as quick as anybody in the league. The Bills are generating a pass rush. The numbers might not show it right now in terms of sacks, but it's the third down defense that I think is the one thing you circle. I'm not going to sit here and panic on the run defense yet. Derrick Henry is going to be able to do that against most defenses in the league, as is Lamar Jackson. So I'm looking at the Saints and looking at these teams coming up, and I don't think the quarterback play is good enough to be able to allow the running game to have its full impact, because I think Sean McDermott does a great job against inexperienced and young quarterbacks as it is already. But when you also factor in the inability to get a pass game going and wanting to emphasize the run game, when McDermott doesn't necessarily respect or feel threatened by what you're doing through the air, they are good at taking away the one thing you're trying to do. I go back to that Jets game. There was a couple of run blitzes schemed up where they just had no respect for Justin Fields throwing the football, and they were able to stuff Breece Hall at the line how many times, or they were able to shut things down at the line how many times. I think that's probably what we see on Sunday.
You'll probably, and I tend to be on that side that you're saying. I think that we will tighten up a little bit, and I think these 10 days will definitely give us an advantage. A, the 10 days being off. B, being at home, and us having enough time to prepare. We just saw the Saints play. They gotta jump on these boys. So we should be able to pinpoint where we want to attack these boys and where we want to stop them. So I think that's the advantage that we get. And I gotta say this though. I asked you something. I asked you earlier if you trust this defense, and you're like, against the Saints, I do. I was like, huh. So I mean, obviously it's gonna be, I guess, pertaining to which team we play, but like overall, I don't trust this defense, because if Josh has an off day, which we've seen before, i.e. the Texans game last year, bro, our defense, although they didn't do too bad, they folded. We weren't able to get enough stops, so I don't trust them. So if we are to do what we're supposed to do based on the metrics that you just shared and some of them I just shared, we should be able to come out of this game on top. But it's just these freaky, silly games that one guy just goes off. We just hope that it's on our side. That's the way I look at it. But we should be able to handle these boys correctly. I've had 6 text messages. I got to ask you this. 6 text messages so far. One of them coming through from Jenna, one of her friends. Hey, are your Bills going to cover? I confidently told a neighbor of mine last week, Bills going to cover against the Dolphins? I was like, hell yeah, 11.5? Man, lock it in. No. Are the Bills covering against the Saints? What is it? Is it 16.5 or 17.5?
It's down to 14.5. There is money coming on the Saints. I totally get it. I get it. That spread is insane. The Bills 14? Could dominate. Yeah, it was at 16.5. So the numbers come in. It's insane. Right, so it was at 16.5. The numbers come down, meaning there's money coming in on the Saints. And I totally get it, because the Bills could destroy the Saints. Then the third quarter rolls around, and Mitch Trubisky's in there for 18 minutes of a football game. And then the Bills end up winning by 14. These are the things you have to factor in. The Bills...
You're right.
they had the Jets beat in the second quarter. They still covered in that game, obviously. It was a much smaller spread. But the point is that the Bills could have won that Jets game like 50-3, but they took Allen out. They ran the ball almost exclusively. So you can't really factor in what the margin of victory could have been, because they weren't playing to cover a spread, or they weren't playing to win by a certain amount. And I feel like that's what you have to think about on Sunday. And that's what I'd think about as a gambling man. The Bills could be up 17 going into the fourth quarter without any real ability to, or without any reason to convince themselves that margin of separation going into the fourth quarter is going to change much. So they're going to take out Allen. And then all of a sudden the Saints score a garbage time touchdown or whatever, and the Bills win by 10. This is how you lose these spreads. So that spread is so massive that the Bills could be destroying the Saints and they still cover. I mean, it's 14.5 right now, Rico. In the NFL, winning by 14 points, you dominated more than likely. That would still cover for the Saints. If the Bills won 24-10, the Saints cover that spread. Think about it. That's how crazy of a number this is. The Dolphins game, I didn't like it. That I would never have bet that game. It was at 12.5 at one point. No, it's just too much. You got a team at 0-2 divisional game with their jobs on the line. I mean, we're talking about Tua's future in Miami. I think it's a foregone conclusion. Mike McDaniel is fired as the head coach. There could be a change at GM potentially. That's a team fighting for their life. You can't bet on the Bills beating them by more than 12 in that situation. Have they done it routinely in the past? Yes, but do you want to put your money against a very desperate team, not at least doing everything in their power to keep it close? And that's how Miami wound up covering. In this game, do you want to put your money on all the things that have to go right? Do you want to put your money on the Bills having such a substantial lead when the backups come in that you still end up covering that spread? Do you want to put your money on the Bills dominating yet still losing that spread? I would not bet this game on either side. I think that there's just way too many other games to bet on to have to sit around and think about putting money down on a 14.5 point spread either way.
You're skipping this one. You're like, I wouldn't touch it.
No, but if I had a gun to my head, Rico, and I had to bet this game, if I had to bet it, I would bet on this. I would bet the Saints.
You'll bet the Saints.
Do I think the Bills could very easily cover? I absolutely do. But do I think that the Bills have shown us in the Miami game and the Jets game, they're not willing to dump the bag of tricks this early? Not even close. People have been bitching about Allen's vanilla offense under Brady through the first 3 weeks. Do you think that they're going to just all of a sudden throw the cinnamon and the cocoa into that vanilla against the Saints on Sunday? Yeah, I don't think so. I think there's part of me that thinks that this offense is waiting to really unleash. Because guess what? When they needed to unleash, Rico, against the Ravens, did they unleash? They can do it. I'm so sick of hearing about this Bills team becoming a boring watch and a dink and dunk. No, Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowls, dinking and dunking the football. Dink and dunk the football, please. I could give a damn how you're doing it. So that's something to factor in.
Here's the thing, though. Call it vanilla. And I was saying this before you got on here. I was hoping, because I was like, Joe Brady might look at this game and say, you know what? I'm just going to just run it vanilla. Let's just try to get out of this game healthy and just let James Cook just run the power here and power there and do a button hook there and a slant here. Just do some vanilla stuff and call it a day. Let's just win the game and get out. Because that's Josh says it. I just want to win. I don't care if we win by 1. I don't care if we win by a rouge for Canadians in here that would know what that is. I don't care if we win by a safety. Just win and let's get to the next one. So I'm with you 100%. Yo, if you need to dig into the bag, go ahead and dig into that bag and get the thing done. But I think they might be waiting until later. But here's the deal. What opponent are you waiting for so much for to dig into your bag? If you look at our schedule, the schedule doesn't dictate that we're playing these top dogs. So how would you just wait till week 17 to play the Eagles? Let me go into my bag. I'm with you in your premise, but if you got to dig, like you said, in the Ravens game, if you got to dig, you're going to dig. Right?
So it's a good point you make. I don't think Joe Brady's got a calendar in which he's got a game circle that says bag of tricks. I think that the way he looks at it is, like you just said, can we win this game with Allen throwing, with an average air yard of 3 and having James Cook run the ball 20 times? I'm pretty confident in the ability to do that. With that, why would I do anything extra in order to win it? Now we get into a hole in the third quarter. Yeah, we're going to do what we're capable of doing to win the football game. You did that against the Ravens. They're capable of doing it. Do I want to do that if I don't have to? No, why would I? I always bring up that Cowboys game, where they ran the ball 1,000 times and Allen threw it like 7 times. Well, why? Because I don't have to do anything else. Against the Jets in week 2, Allen, 150 yards. I got Ravens fans on Twitter. This is your MVP? Yeah. Yeah, what a nice day for my MVP, being able to basically take the day off. Why would I want to do anything else for the sake of doing it? It's dumb. This team has found ways to win beyond Josh Allen having to be a Hall of Famer. So let's execute that way and do it that way. I don't think Brady's got a pinpoint time in which the bag of tricks get opened up. But if I can go the length of the season without having to reveal my full offense and then get into things that aren't on film against the Chiefs, against the Eagles, against playoff teams once we get into January, why wouldn't I? Every year, oh, man, the Chiefs offense doesn't look that good. Oh, here we are, January, and here's a little spinorama thing that they drew up for Travis Kelce, who hasn't done anything in 2 months or whatever. We were sitting like, how'd they come up with this? Well, they haven't done anything all regular season, and now they got the foot on the gas. There's part of me that wonders if the Bills have found ways to win that don't require having to have their foot on the gas, and they're waiting to hit the acceleration when necessary. I think that that's something you can certainly factor in. They're not sitting around this week saying, hey, we got to channel the Kurt Warner Rams team or the 2007 Brady team in New England to beat these Saints. I think they're probably sitting around thinking, we're winning, running the football, and having Allen take what's coming to him. I don't plan on changing much this Sunday unless we are forced into a hole we can't foresee being in.
Listen, you are on fire. Richie Fresh has got you. He said, hey, Bot, I had a great sleep. He feels like he is ready to roll, and he's rolling right now. So you damn right. My man Walter says, yo, listen, I'm fine with the check down approach if I know the vertical aspect is still there. I'm just not convinced yet that that it's there if we face an actual good defense. Well, see,
and Signified's going off of this too. This is insane to me. Signified saying there is no honor in dinking and dunking, playing like a bitch. That's why no matter how many rings Tom Brady has, he'll never be better than Aaron Rodgers. Read that out loud, Signified. Go find a mirror in your house, read that out loud, and genuinely ask yourself if you believe what you just wrote.
No, Signify's a hater right now.
That is insane.
He's just talking mess right now. And you know what? Sometimes people are feeling it. They're feeling themselves, and by the time he pressed send, he was like, oh, so I believe what I just said. It's out there. He'll read it, and we'll go.
There's no honor in doing things that aren't conducive to winning championships. We know that they're capable of doing it. What's the honor in losing every year? What's the honor in losing every year? There isn't any. Tom Brady, no honor. The guy did. Listen, so many teams find ways to do what they shouldn't to put themselves in bad spots to win games. And the Bills had done that numerous times, right? Where Allen's so talented, but you're making a play or two in a big game where it just wasn't necessary, and it switches the dichotomy of the football game. Why wouldn't I dink and dunk and play efficient football with the run game I have as well and win the game if I can? I want this team to win. I don't care if they look like a Sports Center hour-long afternoon special of highlights. I don't need it.
But let me tell you something. Signified knows, and whoever was mentioning about, the dink and dunking, if Josh Allen dinked and dunked his way through the whole season with efficiency and won us a championship, we wouldn't hear Pete from the people complaining about his dinking and dunking. Ain't nobody worried about no dinking and dunking. W's is what that matters. You think we care about what happened week one? We're happy we got out of that game and we won that thing. We're on to the next one. Dink and dunk and do what you need to do. Is it sexy? No. But guess what? We're still putting up 30 points a game. Bro, relax. It's going to be all right, especially for this offense. This offense always finds their groove. So they will. Now, will there be an odd time where we got to dig into the bag? Well, that's when Joe Brady's going to have to open the bag of tricks and say, all right, let's dig a little deeper. Let's see what we got. So there are a few things that I do want to touch on. And I'm going to put a button in the Saints and Bills preview because we're going to do this again on Sunday morning. So first thing is this. Who is it that you need to step up? Or not even step up. It's not about a matter of stepping up. Who would you like to see shine up this upcoming game, offense or defense, doesn't matter what, in this game?
I don't know. There really isn't much for me. Honestly, I would like to see Tre'Davious White bounce back in this game. I thought he struggled against Miami. I thought that was pretty noticeable. He had a couple of decent plays in that game, but it felt like he was struggling in that football game. I'd like to see I'd like to see him step up this weekend. I don't look at it. I mean, I think there's a reason why Milano and Oliver are out again this weekend. And I think that they should probably stay out for a bit here. I don't think that anybody really has to shine in this game in order to get it done. I think the one thing I'd like to see this James Cook train continuing to roll. If James Cook scores a touchdown on Sunday, he'll have the franchise record for most consecutive games with a touchdown with 8. And he's coming off of 2 games with 100 rush yards consecutively. In all 3 games this year, he has over 100 all-purpose yards. He's off to an unbelievable start. I'd love to see this train continue to roll because he's on pace right now for, in terms of, recent Buffalo Bills history, an historic running back season. The Bills really haven't had incredible running back seasons in some time. This last year, Cook led the league in touchdowns. It was a good year. He's on pace for a great year right now. He's on pace for well over 1,000 yards. And he's got that mark the last 2 years, but I'm talking well over. I'm talking hundreds of yards over the way it's going right now. And he's on pace to lead the league in touchdowns again. I'd like to see this train continue to roll because I think that it's such an unbelievably lethal element of this offense right now that not enough people talk about because of Josh Allen. Nobody really talks about how good the run game is for the Bills. Right now, the Bills might be the best run. Yeah. No, because people respect it, obviously. They know it's good. But it might be the best in the league right now in terms of their running threat. And it's not talked about like that. 100%. It's not talked about like that, Rico. It's talked about as, Josh Allen, and then, you got James Cook. He's good too. No. Right now, that's just as good as anything else in the league. So I'd like to see that continue to keep rolling because the momentum he builds himself each and every week is going to absolutely pay off in the end when they're going to be able to continue to go to the well there while also opening it up for Allen when needed.
I think what I'm looking forward to is the offense continuing to find ways and to prop somebody else up, right? So game 1 we had it was the Keon Coleman game, right? It was Keon had 8 receptions, 112, all that great stuff, right? Week 2, it was about the run game. It was about James Cook looking the way he did. It was great. It's fantastic. We'll keep it rolling. I'd love to hear and see more of Josh Palmer and Khalil Shakir. Khalil Shakir did have a decent game last week as well, but I'd like to see a little bit more of them featuring these guys a little bit more to see what it goes down. But what I love about this situation is, and this was a topic of conversation. I think it was Dan Fights that asked a question about Josh Allen's turnovers, and they're going down. And he said something to the nature of playing free. I don't have to look for that guy and look for this guy. And I tweeted in the comment of, that's also telling me that I don't have to force the football to Gabe Davis, nor do I have to force the football to a star receiver in Stephon Diggs. I can just do what I need to do and spread the ball where I need to go. And that's why Josh is having the success in doing the dink and dunk. There were days, remember the days where Josh never checked down? He did not check down. There were days where Josh, if it's 2nd and 9, he's going for the 15-yard completion. If it's third and 2, he's got somebody deep. He's got somebody sitting in the flats. He's like, no, I'm taking the guy that's going deep. He's matured so much that this offense can flourish with him just being smart and doing what he needs to do. But I'd love to see him get Palmer and Khalil a little more involved in this game, especially with a game like the Saints. Saints shouldn't be anything. So if you're going to exercise and try to get these things going, get these guys going, I'd love to see a little bit more of that. And secondly, I just want to see our defense just step up, lock it down, do what they need to do, and go from there. And I'll be interested in that. So I'm not going to ask you for predictions, score predictions, because I'll wait till on Sunday. But for the most part, you're telling me they don't cover the spread, so it might not that it's going to be close, because if it's a 24-10 game, it's not close. It's still a beatdown, in my opinion. So if you mean 34-20, I really don't want them getting 20 points, but it is what it is. But we'll see how it is. These guys are averaging 15 points, 16 points a game. So look for that 28, 14 type game. And I think that you might be onto something when you mentioned that. So that being said, so Saints Bills preview. I kind of want to put a button in it because there's a few topics that I want to touch on with my man Bot, and we'll keep it rolling. Do you want to add anything else about these Saints, buddy?
No, I mean, unfortunately, and I hate to sound like this, but this is just one of those games where are we going to sit down and break it down for 2.5 hours? I mean, is it necessary? I don't think so. And there's part of these games that kind of suck, to be honest, like where you're going into it and you're like, I guess the best way to put it is you can't get up for a game like this like you do in week one. You just can't. Even if you're the biggest diehard fan in the world, you can't get up for a game like this as opposed to comparing it to a game like the Ravens or the Chiefs or whatever. This is just one of those games where you expect to sit down and watch the inevitable. So it's hard to sit around and be like, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to drop this if you want to beat the Saints. I sit here and I'm like, yeah, just go out and execute. You're going to win this football game.
Done. Period. Point blank. Fini. All right. I got a few other topics to hit up. I saw something, and I'm paraphrasing here. I tried to look through my phone to find it because I remember saving it, but I can't find it. I remember I was scrolling through Instagram, and it was a business account that I follow. And as I'm freaking going through the thing, it mentioned, and I'm paraphrasing here for people, so help me out. Bear with me here. It says something to the nature of going into business. When you're in a business and you're in business with people you love that you call family, these businesses usually fail and they don't do well because there's such a family dynamic and everyone loves each other and it's all great. But that's not how you have success. You have success the opposite. And I'm paraphrasing. It wasn't exactly like that, but I wish I could find it, but I couldn't find it. And then it got me thinking about the Bills. All you hear is how great this place is. I never want to leave. And if they boot me out, I come back because this place is so great. And blase, kumbaya. And I was like, are we too family oriented to have an edge for us to get over the hump? Because we haven't been able to get over the hump. And all I hear on this team is how family oriented it is. It's so great. And this is like home to me, et cetera, et cetera. And this video I was watching, I was like, and I'm watching all these other places, like the Eagles are the recent winners. We're not Eagles fans, so we don't follow them like that, but like they don't give me the impression of family this and family that. Howie Roseman will move your ass and bring somebody else in because he's always trying to get the edge in any way possible that he can get. Is there a weakness in this whole family? And I love it. It's so great because I bring this up because of the McDermott and Bean, right? Bringing back old players, and we love these guys. And maybe there's a little too much love for players that maybe shouldn't be on the roster. You should be looking ahead to other players. And this was cemented even more so when I was watching the Post-Podium boys and Amar Aramis was talking about that very thing. And he's saying, guys, we loved, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't think I caught on the end, but Trey White is great. But like, shouldn't we be looking at the younger, faster guys so we can put in there so we can have that edge? Like these guys that are kind of washed, we're just giving them all this leeway. And I struggle with that because I'm like, yes, you can put in the young guy, but is the young guy prepared and ready? That's the thing. But the veteran guy is there and he gets it. He knows what he's supposed to do. There's that fine line. But then I do totally get this if you've gone into business with some people, wouldn't you rather go into business with people you don't know as family? That way it's more run like a ship. But when you ever hear, don't be a roommate with your family members or don't go into business with friends because it always ends bad and it's not great. What are your thoughts on that? And I want the chat's thoughts on that if you guys catch what I'm saying here. Are we too family, or is there not an edge for us to really get over the edge? Because we're always talking about how come we can't get over the edge? We're always there, but we never get over the edge. Is there something there? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a strength, not a weakness. I think it's the reason for the success of these Buffalo Bills. I don't think that they would be where they're at right now if it weren't for that. The Eagles, you mentioned it, they don't feel that way, but they also have a talent. They also have a roster that's probably the most talented in the NFL. The Bills don't have that. And with the way they've overcome maybe a lack of talent compared to a Philadelphia or a Baltimore is because of that family dynamic. I think that this has propelled this team to where it's currently at. I really do. I don't think it's gotten in the way of them being able to get over the hump. What's gotten in the way is just a couple of plays here and there. I don't think it's got anything to do with keeping an extra guy around that you shouldn't have, or maybe caring a little bit too much for the guy next to you than maybe other teams would. The families don't work out in business often because of the financial ramifications of it, right? When you're dealing with family and money, it's a bad, messy mix because you're less likely to try to demand money from a family member, or if you're a family member who, owes someone money, maybe you're less likely to pay it back because it's a family member. You're more willing to kind of let a longer leash go there, and then things start to bundle up or whatever. That's not the case here. I look at this situation with Buffalo, and I think that because of what they've built in terms of what the locker room is and what the overall aura of the franchise has become, that has been conducive to success. I don't think it's an issue. You talk about Tre'Davious White being maybe one of those guys who you bring back because he's a familiar face and you work with him because of that. You don't think the Bills would want Maxwell Hairston out there right now balling out? I mean, of course they would. But he got hurt, and he's in no way ready to go out there and start for this team. There's just no way. He has no reps. He has no experience. You're not going to throw him out there now. And there's part of me that wonders if they will throw him out there. I don't know. When's the point going to come when you throw him out there and he's going to be fully ready? I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, to be 100% honest with you. So that's why you have guys like Tre'Davious White out there. The Bills would much prefer to have the younger guy out there balling out their first round draft pick. I think that's probably goes without saying, but it's not the way it went. Last year with Cole Bishop, you'd probably want him out there. He gets hurt. It's not the way it wasn't in the cards. I think that comparing this to the business side of things, I think a team benefits from the family dynamic, whereas a business might not, because the business is solely reliant on the financial situation that is linked to the family. With this particular situation, we've seen it before. Yeah, the Bills brought back Micah Hyde. Yeah, they brought back Tre'Davious White, but they also released those guys too. They let them walk. They bring back Jordan Poyer. They let all of those guys walk. So they're not willing to do that. The Bills, with what they've built, I would think the best way to put this would be it's a strength of Buffalo's to have that family dynamic. I think other teams are not that great in the league because they lack that. And I think when you don't have the most talented roster in the NFL, Rico, when you have guys that are always playing 110% for each other and are fully bought in, I think that helps overcome that gap. And I think that there were, even with Philadelphia last year winning the Super Bowl, before that they went on their dominant run there, a lot of people were having conversations about whether or not this team was cohesive enough to be able to wind up doing what they were doing. People were questioning Nick Sirianni. They were questioning A.J. Brown, reading books on the side of the sideline or whatever. A.J. Brown and Hurts relationship. The Bills don't have that issue. So I'd much rather be in the situation the Bills are in. Joey Bosa is the best example of this, by the way, to put the icing on it. He goes from the Chargers to Buffalo, and look at the guy. The guy couldn't be happier. And he was in L.A. for his entire career. He played for the Chargers his entire career. And he was rejuvenated coming to Buffalo because of that family dynamic. He didn't have that with the Chargers, and you can tell he's benefiting from now having that. And I think a lot of these guys do benefit from having that. I'd much rather be in a situation that the Buffalo Bills have built than really any other situation in the league.
I'm on the fence because I was once on everything you just said. I was with it. But then I look back because I remember, I got to remember this to bring this on the show. And this is perfect because something triggered between me today when I was watching that show. And I'm like, sometimes I think we get to the playoffs, like we do everything great in the regular season. And then we get to the playoffs and then something goes wrong or we can't get over the edge. Sometimes I feel, are guys too comfortable in the role that they're in? I feel like my son's coming down here, but I'm not sure. Are guys too comfortable in the role that they're in? And to the point where we don't get it, I'll be here next year and we'll do this whole family dynamic again. But I don't feel like there's enough of an edge. I don't feel like McDermott's on their ass to be like, dude, if we don't get it done, y'all are all gone. It doesn't feel that way. It's, we'll be back next year and we'll do this all over again. So we'll try it. We'll do the old college try the year after. We're not always promised that. The fact that we have such a dynamic quarterback that can get us to where we're at, y'all got to help that brother out. When you said the Eagles, which great, because the Eagles were like, yo, they're dysfunctional. They're terrible. They can't do anything right. But the talent on the team got them over the top. And I wonder, are we talented enough? Do we have enough talent on this team? And I'm going to more defensively to get over the edge. And sometimes McDermott would say, I'd rather build a team over having talent. And I'm always going to remember that. And maybe that's the problem with us not getting over the edges. Maybe there's not enough talent. And it got me thinking. I was like, man, so talent, we got it in Josh Allen. Dog. There's no questioning that. We already know what time it is. But like when it comes to push and shove and we get on the defensive side of the football, we tend to just not have that edge. So that brings me to guys like Trey White, the Matt Milanos. Milano, I'm cool with, because right now it's like if you look at him and you look at Dorian Williams, it's like, you can go. So if I'm like, you might as well just put Milano because he's been there, he knows the system, and we'll keep it rolling. But there comes a time where you're like, all right, fam, like when are we gonna get the young bucks and the young hungry guys in there to really get us over the edge? So it got me wondering. There's no really answer to that just yet because we're still early in the season. But there's gonna come a time where, is Trey White the answer? Should we start? Is Maxwell Harrison ready to go? And are we ready to get the edge and get the young guys in? Why did we bring back a freaking Elam? Wasn't there any other guy better than Elam to bring on the squad? Do we not get enough talent on the squad? It makes you wonder. So I'm looking at it, I'm monitoring, I'm paying attention. But that video had me thinking, like, yo, are we just too la-di-da and nice and family oriented and it's all great? Where's the edge? All right. So maybe an addition of Joey Bosa is an edge, right? Maybe getting the Deion Walkers is the edge. So it's materializing, but it had me questioning. It had me like, I gotta see this more often. I'm curious what the chat thinks, because I know the Eagles were brought up. Walter says, yo, great players win games, great teams win championships. And I've loved felt we're a good team with a great quarterback. So we're not a great team yet, is what he's saying. Great teams with championship. Walter says we're just good. He doesn't believe we're great yet.
No, the Bills aren't a great team, but who's a great team right now besides the Eagles? Nobody. There's not a great team in the NFL right now besides the Eagles. Every other team.
Would you say the Lions are a great team?
No, we were just saying 2 weeks ago, are the Lions even going to be competitive this year without their two coordinators after they got destroyed by Green Bay? Lions are a good team. They're not a great team because they don't have a great quarterback. They have a really good quarterback. Jared Goff isn't great. I think Jared Goff's top 10, but I don't think he's great. I don't think he's in that top 5 of greatness. I don't think there's a great team outside of the Eagles in the NFL. You would say the Ravens, in terms of roster, they find a way to choke away every big game that they play.
I think the Lions are a great team.
If the Lions are a great team, then so are the Bills.
I think so too.
Okay.
So, then the challenge becomes, where does the greatness go when the playoffs gets there? And that, I think that's where I'm like, so are we great enough? And this is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I think the Lions are a great team. I think the Packers are a great team. I think the Bills are a great team. Eagles are a great team.
Yeah, like if you're listed all those teams and you got to put Buffalo in there. Like there's no way.
The Chargers a great team?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it depends on how you're defining great. I look at great. When I think of great, I'm thinking the best makeup in the league. I think right now the only great team, if we're talking about top to bottom, it's got to be Philadelphia. I mean, the Chiefs are not a great team right now. The Chiefs are not a great team right now.
I agree. I don't think they're a great team. No.
I guess it all depends on if you're talking great, is in every
he's trolling right now. He's trolling.
Oh, okay. If we're talking top 5 teams in the league are your great teams, then yeah, those teams are great. But if we're talking like top to bottom, everything about this team is more than likely what you'd sign up to have. Like right now, you would take this right now in every facet. It's probably the Eagles. And I understand that. I think that if we're talking about, I think a great team is because of X, Y, and Z. I think there's 100 different ways to frame this. But the Bills, if we're going to frame it any other way, then the Bills are a great team. Like you can't say the Lions are a great team while also knowing that Jared Goff isn't a top 5 quarterback. I feel like you can't say the Bills aren't a great team without mentioning that Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen.
Right.
There's give and take here. The Bills are great because of Josh Allen. The Lions are great because of Jared Goff, but a litany of other things as well. The Eagles are great because top to bottom, they probably have the best roster in the NFL. So there's greatness in all these different ways. And I think that oftentimes we hear, well, the Bills are great just because of Josh Allen. Well, who cares how they're great? You know, you get to the postseason and they've lost narrowly, oftentimes very injured, and it's a play or two. I don't think that we can look at these losses and say, well, it's because the Bills aren't great. Well, no, it's the Bills. The Bills have just been on the short end of it in single elimination games numerous times for different reasons. I don't think it's because of the family dynamic where they keep too many guys, or it's because they're not good enough. They've clearly proven that they're good enough. They just have come up shy. And who hasn't? Outside of the Chiefs and the Eagles, pretty much everybody has come up shy each and every season. So it depends on how you're framing great. But if we're looking at it in terms of one of the best teams in the league, the Bills are great. If we're looking at it in terms of the best roster in the league, then no. But to me, there's different ways to be great in the NFL.
All right, cool. Now that was topic 1. And we're talking about greatness, and we're talking about what's great, what's not great. What's great in this? I need you to explain something to me.
Whoa.
Because Tua had some comments about, you know what I'm saying? Pretty much, I mean, I guess we could just play the clip so we can have some context here. And then you had your tweet that you're not lying, bro. That thing hit. That thing hit. 17K, you got 800 retweets. Golly, that mother ever hit.
What
you got almost 500,000. So let me hit this real quick. I mean, you don't really have to hit it. Tua was
do it, play it.
Yeah, play it. Okay, well let's jump into it. We'll play it. So Tua had some comments. Somebody must have asked him something about, how tough it is to play quarterback, something of that nature.
Someone brought up to him the recent criticism he's been getting from people, including Cam Newton.
There you go. Yes, exactly right. So here is our guy Tua talking and replying to these comments.
I heard Cam Newton saying the other day.
Well, anybody can play quarterback in this league. Then I mean, I want to see anybody on the streets come and play quarterback. I mean, Cam's doing his thing for sure, but I think it's easier to be able to hold a clicker and talk about it that way, or talk about what someone else is doing wrong when you're not going out and having to do the same as them, right? So I think it's easy to do that. I think anybody can do that. I don't think anybody can play quarterback.
I heard Cam Newton say it the other day.
All right.
Well, anybody can.
So then my guy Zbot, I don't know how you just thought of this right off the rip, and you just said, you know what, this is. I think what was your first of all? Let me back this up a little bit. So then you come in and you say, let me put this right here real quick, and then you come in and say, anybody on the street, the guy on the street, and you got Heisman winner, you know what I'm saying, big time player in Cam Newton with his awards and all that. Explain this tweet. Where were you going with it? And let's dig into this Tua comment on, how difficult it is with the quarterback position. Talk to me.
I got a ton of stuff to say on this. For starters, was there a lack of? Did we forget who Cam Newton was?
Yeah,
appears in a Super Bowl, NFC champion, MVP winner, a Heisman Trophy winner. At the time, one of the most dynamic quarterbacks we've seen. It didn't last as long as Panthers fans were hoping, or certainly Cam Newton was hoping. But at the time, Cam Newton was dominant. Tua's never been dominant in this league, and he's never come close to having the success that Cam Newton has had in this league. So how are you even bringing that up to where you're saying it's easier to have a clicker? Cam Newton, I know he had a bad ending to his career and it fizzled out, but at one point he was great, and Tua hasn't been great. Let's talk about the comment in and of itself. I'm seeing some comments in here. I have no issue with what he said.
Neither do I. I have no issue with it either. When I heard it, I was like, okay.
I do. Oh, I totally do. You want to know why I have an issue with that?
Let's hear it.
Because that's not a response that a 4-year, $212 million quarterback makes. That is not the response you have as a franchise quarterback. I want you to close your eyes and imagine Josh Allen saying that exact same thing that Tua said. And you're probably realizing right now you can't imagine it because he never would. A franchise quarterback, the face of the franchise, does not respond with, We'll tell anybody on the street to come and play quarterback. Not as easy as it looks. No, it's not as easy as it looks, Tua. That's why you're supposed to be getting $212 million to make it look easy. You're getting $212 million because you're supposed to be better than the guy on the street. You can't sit here and say, well, anybody on the street can do it. You're getting paid $212 million to do it better than the guy on the street. The bar for you, Tua, is not the guy on the street. It's the best in the league because you're being paid as if you're one of the best in the league. That's a response that a 7-year-old makes when he's put in that similar situation, where a 7-year-old is told to do his chores, doesn't do them great, and then the 7-year-old goes, well, I'd like to see you do it. I'd like to see you go ahead and try. Imagine Josh Allen saying to that exact response, if Josh Allen was asked, hey, you've been getting criticized by so-and-so in the media and so-and-so on Twitter and the fan base, I bet you the response would be, yeah, I don't really pay attention to all that. We're just really putting our head down, trying to grind and be better this upcoming week. That's the response, point blank. Because why is that the response, Rico? Because why? We're sitting here talking about it right now. Based on Tua's response, we're sitting here talking about it, and every television show is talking about it, and every radio show is talking about it. Franchise quarterbacks do not put their team in position to be a talking point in a negative way or in a controversial way. This seems to be a recurring theme now. So not only are you having Tua not play up to the billing, not playing up to the evaluation of his contract, and currently right now being questioned by many, but now you're also going to the podium and becoming a distraction as well. This is compounding. This is an issue. Is what he said wrong necessarily? Not really, no. Like, could anybody on the street go and play? No. And is Cam Newton currently in the league right now? No. But you don't say that as the franchise quarterback. You just don't. And I want you to think, I want you to try and fathom Mahomes saying that or Allen saying that or any of the greats saying that, and you can't. Mm-hmm. And it's in that moment right there, Rico, where it might not be this egregious thing. You know, Tua didn't say, shove it up your ass. He didn't say something egregious, right? It was, I guess, a very just forgettable comment if you weren't contextualizing it. But the reason why that stands out to me is because the leader of the organization and the man that is supposed to be the guy does not respond that way. And he does not immediately respond to criticism by saying, I'd like to see anybody on the street come and do this. Okay. That's not the response. And if that is the response, that tells me right now it's getting to you. Because if your response is, I'd like to see somebody on the street do this, that's telling me this is getting to you. And can't you tell with Tua, when the criticism is brought to light, it gets to him? That's 100%. Not what I want from my quarterback either. I don't want the criticism sneaking into my head and being easily impressionable on me. That seems evident. That is not the way you respond as the $212 million face of the franchise. And that tells me everything I need to know in terms of where his mentality is currently at.
Okay, so there's a response from Cam to Tua. Have you seen the response yet?
No.
Okay, let me see if I can play that. Now, before I do play it, I feel like this, and everything you said was bang on. You're paid $212 million to shut your mouth, and I feel like I feel terrible saying that. Shut up and dribble.
No, Rico, you're paid $212 million to be great. You're not even being paid $212 million to be serviceable and a decent NFL quarterback. You're being paid to be great. That's the difference.
This is why I love it, because I got to look at the other side, because you killed it. First of all, I ain't taking anything away from you. You killed that. But did Cam misinterpret what he was trying to say? Because Tua was saying, all these armchair people like you and I saying, everyone's got a clicker these days. Everyone's got a clicker saying, hey, break this film down and look at this and look at that. Look why he missed this. You and I could do that if we really film buffs like that. So he's like, you guys can still frame this and do that, but you're not in the locker room. I get that part. But the other part is, listen, you're supposed to get the job done. So that way they're not criticizing you. And right now you're not. So we're on your ass. How do you respond going forward? And I think this is the issue that you're lamenting, and I think that is fair. How do you respond? The people are going to talk to you. They're going to talk trash. But you getting back and talking to a reporter and getting back, bro, that looks weak. It looks absolutely weak. I don't need you to respond by saying, well, does he have a clicker? I need you to respond by coming back and give me a 350-yard game with 6 touchdown passes and say, there it is. There's my talking. Too much talking in this thing. More talking needs to be done on the field. And right now, there ain't a lot of talking going on in Miami with that quarterback and whatever Mike McDaniel's doing out there. So bang on. Did Cam misinterpret a little bit? Did he take, you know what I mean? Athletes can get sensitive sometimes when they think
Tua or Cam? Tua or Cam you're talking about?
Cam might have thought that, he was talking greasy, but maybe it wasn't.
Wait,
greasy,
why? What did Cam say? Did he fire back hard?
I didn't see it. We're about to watch it together and see what he says. So here's what. Let me see. Did I share my screen yet? No, I didn't share it yet. So here's what it is. I hope you guys can hear it. And here we roll. Here we go.
Floor is yours, Mr. Newton. Your
thoughts. Part of me wants to admit to say anybody can go 0-3. Anybody, can really look at the optics and say, hey, dog, but did I lie though? But this is where we have to understand, do I feel a certain type of way? Absolutely not. I've said what I said, and I'll stand on what I said. This Tua Tagovailoa that we have seen within the last 12 months is not something in someone that is indicative of what we've seen before. I use the reference as quiet Tua, Alabama Tua, Tua under Nick Saban, and everybody understands where I'm coming from. When I see the situation that has taken place in Miami, it's more Love Island drama than football. And in large part, I wouldn't say it's all on Tua, but it is a main ingredient. And I just know what he's capable of. There was times that we've seen Tua Tagovailoa play football, and it was at a high level. You don't make 53 M&Ms, or as Stephen A. say, $1 million. No. By just being a random on the street.
See, and that's the key. Let's stop there, because that's the key, right? That's the key in all of this, where the bar is not the man on the street. The bar is not anybody but the best in the NFL. And when that's the immediate response, I mean, you can just instantly tell how much it eats at him, where it's just like, well, I'd like to see you do it. Like, that's the instant response of somebody who's not secure in how they're playing right now. If he was secure in how he was playing right now, he'd be like what you said. This upcoming week, I got to be better. I got to respond. That's the key. So this is how you know, beyond the play on the field, the criticism and the scrutiny is also creeping in as well. On top of also responding like that on a national stage, it's just not what the leader of the organization does. It's not. I'm also seeing in here, by the way, Richie, Walt, Brandon Beane did this same thing in the offseason. The irony of Zbot describing Beane to a T. Beane did the similar thing on WGR. Didn't we give him a pass? I didn't give him a pass. I did not like at all how Brandon Beane responded to Jeremy on the WGR interview he did, where he immediately came out and,
you didn't like it.
I hated it. You liked it. I hated it. That is not how a GM acts. It's
but there's
not.
a difference. There's a difference. I'm
difference.
The GM. I'm defending my receivers. This guy is saying he's chirping back to people that are talking ish about him when he's the actual player that can do something on the field. There's a vast difference between the two. You can't compare the two. It's apples and oranges in that regards. Tua can actually do something about it. And right now, he ain't. The only thing he's doing about it is chirping back. So he has a grand opportunity this weekend to go in and clap back to Cam Newtons of the world. And guess what? Cam wins in this because he's like, that's the Tua that I know. When Cam talks, a lot of people, they get distracted by what he wears and the hat, but he's a pretty decent analyst. He tells it like it is as a former athlete, and he gets to it. But don't be coming at Zbot saying, hey, weren't you the one that was liking it? Zbot was against it. I was surprised that Zbot was against it. I don't like it. I was like, what? How do you not like it? I don't like it. It's not a good look. And he stood on his business. I was the one saying, yo, I like my GM clapping back. Don't be talking about my players that I picked. But at the same time, it was a little sensitive on GM too, because
yes,
when people do talk and say, hey man, what's going on? It's like someone said, yo, your girl's ugly, bro. You're gonna defend your girl to the core. You know, she ain't ugly. She ain't. You know,
I would say my girl will be better on Sunday. That's what I'd say. That's the response.
yo, when she's dressed up, makeup up, she got her face is beaten, all that stuff. You wait.
Listen, the reason
I handle it quietly.
Yeah, and that's why I brought up them mentioning the bean thing in the comments, because I want to make it known this isn't, even though you know my thoughts on Tua, this isn't a one-off on just Tua and Tua alone. I have this feeling on all of these situations, all of these. When the quarterback is like, look at CJ Stroud, by the way. Remember when he came out with his top 5 quarterback list? He little broed Caleb Williams after the game. Now what's happening? Everyone bringing all that stuff back up after an 0-3 start where their offense is the worst in the NFL. So why don't you do that stuff? Because you're giving everybody ammunition. You're giving everybody something to work with the second you don't play well. You're giving everybody something to talk about, everybody something to scrutinize and criticize. This is why the best of the best don't even give you that opportunity. They shut it down instantly. A franchise quarterback is more than a guy who takes the snap and throws the ball. He is the representation of the organization. He is a walking billboard for the logo. And when you are bringing controversy, when you are bringing negative talking points up, and when you are inflaming situations that should be being put out by you as opposed to being put gasoline on top of, that I have a major problem with. I don't care who it is and when they do it or what they do.
I will say this because I have the inside scoop, because you guys know Kevin, friend of the show and all that stuff. Kevin and I had a lengthy conversation about the Miami Dolphins, and people tend to forget when he came out of Alabama with a busted hip and had to heal up from all that stuff. This guy was a mobile quarterback prior to, and he was deadly accurate. And we saw glimpses of that when he was in Miami. But let's not forget, Flores hated Tua, wanted nothing to do with Tua. So he dropped him down a peg, multiple pegs. It was to the point where he was ready to get rid of Tua to bring in Deshaun Watson to the team, right? So he was ready to bring Watson to the team and all that stuff at the end of the day. So Tua's been pretty much shitted on right from the start. So if you see some of this that's happening right now, I'm not saying it's a blame on that, but like, you got finally somebody that was like, yo, instead of sitting down and taking it, you know what I mean, stand up for yourself. Not like that. Stand up for yourself, meaning on the field. But you don't have control of your receiver. Your receiver's doing all this nonsense. You guys are bickering and people are seeing in between. It's a mess. So as a leader, you're not showing great leadership right now. Tua's not showing great leadership. And this shows you're a clicker and you're an armchair GM. I'd like to use it. Bro, you can't do that. It's like when someone says something like that, you've lost the argument. You know what I'm saying? When you're roasting someone who says, your mama, you're done. You're cooked. Yes. You're done with, move on. And that's pretty much what he's saying. When he's the clicker this and clicker that, he pretty much referred to your mama. You're done. So now you've got that to deal with. And then you got your own locker room to deal with. And now you got to get wins. Because as much as Dolphins being 0-3, it's not out of the norm for them to climb back out. It's going to be very tough for them to climb back out, but my gosh, you're still in it to try to do it. So this is not the time for all this chatter. Get it done at the end of the day. So yes, you had a lot to say about it, and that tweet says a lot. And well,
that tweet doesn't say much. That tweet, all that tweet says is you're going to be criticizing the guy who's more decorated than you are through your career, and you've somehow made double the amount of money he has, or however much more he does. Like, that's what I don't understand. It almost felt like he didn't even know who Cam Newton was and the way he was talking about it.
I think he just misuses word. I don't really think he was trying to throw shade on Cam in all seriousness. It's just the way it came down. He used Cam Newton's name. Didn't say anything negative about Cam Newton, but I think he was referring to like you and I, right? Guy with a clicker, and Cam happened to be the one that they brought up, and Cam was talking, and he brought Cam's name, but Cam took it as, oh, you talk about me? All right, bet. I'm going to get your ass. But anyway, nonetheless, the Dolphins are their own situation. They got to fix their situation. They've got a lot to fix. And listen, this short NFL season, long NFL season, can become very short. And right now, the first 3 weeks, there's a lot of teams that are right now like not looking good right now. Dallas Cowboys ain't looking good, bro. You might be done. The Dolphins ain't looking good, bro. You might be done. So there's a lot riding on this one. All right, next topic. You ready for this one?
Yep.
How much room you got? Is Caroline want you to go to bed?
No, you're good. I want two more things I want to add on that. One, it doesn't matter whether or not he was talking directly about Cam Newton or not. It was the response in general. Like, I don't want to make it seem like it matters if it was just Cam Newton or not. It totally doesn't. That response in general. The other thing too, and the one last thing with quarterback, a lot of it is visualization. A lot of it is visualization. Visualize going into battle with Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. You're confident. You see a response like that from Tua. Visualize going into battle with that guy leading the charge. Are you confident? And I think the answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
Your sergeant doesn't respond that way. The leader of the battle, the guy leading the front going into the battle, does not respond that way because the troops behind him do not have belief in him fully. If that's the response, if that's the way he's carrying himself, that's just how I see it.
Nope, you nailed it. There's nothing else to say after that. That's bang on. And if you were to ask any fan base, you go ask guys on the team right now, anonymously, they would be like, nah, Tua ain't the guy, bro. He ain't the guy. And he's not. I don't think he is. And this incident week 3, or week 3 going into week 4, that right there probably might be the end of it. That's it. Greer, and I mean, they got to reset that whole thing up in the first place. So Tua might be part of that reset, and you got to go. You got to go. So I feel bad for TD because TD still got to root for that team. So it is.
TD wants him gone.
Oh, I know he wants him gone, but he still got to root for that team.
I know.
Sorry.
God bless him.
All right, here's my next question for you, big fella. Chiefs Ravens.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to go there.
Oh, we going there, baby. So Chiefs Ravens, they play this week. All right, one team is going. Oh man, it's gonna be bad. One team is gonna be 1-3. And 1-3 in the first quarter of the season is not good. Which team, in your opinion, loses this game? And who's got the hardest job to try to make themselves get back into playoff contention?
It's a great question. And the answer I have right now is I'm not sure. The Ravens are the better team. They are better than the Chiefs. But they have shown susceptibility to losing to teams that they're better than. They were better than the Bills in week 1, lost. They're a better football team to me than the Lions. They lost. Their defense is bad right now. Their defense is abysmal right now. Their run defense in particular is terrible. By the way, I saw you shake your head there. Yeah, the Lions, I guess, are on par there. I guess the better way to
why you hating on the Lions? The Lions are a great team, man.
I think come on, you know my love for the Lions last year. I think we were on a different playing field here. So you know where my love for the Lions is. The better way that I should frame it, Rico.
Right.
They're not as poor as they were against the Lions the other night. Okay, the Lions were noticeably better on the field. And I don't think we look at those two teams as the Lions being noticeably better. Is that fair? Right. Yeah. Okay. That's the better way to play.
Well done.
So in this game, though, the Chiefs are noticeably worse to me than the Ravens in terms of a football team. But I don't know if I can trust that Ravens team to go into Arrowhead and beat Kansas City. But my other issue, though, I don't know if I trust Kansas City right now to be good enough to beat a team at the caliber of the Ravens. I don't know if I can. They're not good right now. Point blank, that is not a good football team. Even though they beat the Giants the other night, that was one of the worst football games I have ever watched on both ends. The Giants certainly took the bulk share of the blame there, but that was a bad football game, and the Chiefs played their part in it. And the 2 games prior were not good. The offense cannot score, and the defense looks like it's lost a bit of a step. That's still a good defense, but I don't know if it's as dominant as it was. I look at this game, and I don't know if I can confidently pick one team or the other. If I had to pick, I'd have to pick the Ravens just because they're the better football team. But if the Chiefs beat the Ravens this upcoming week, that is a massive concern. I think if you walk away and the Chiefs lose, I think the easy takeaway would be they're clearly just not as good as Baltimore. But if Baltimore goes into a game again where they are the better team and then they lose again because they came up shy late, they choked it away late, this is systemically bad. I mean, it's already gotten to the point where many of their fans feel like this is becoming a Harbaugh issue. You lose a game like this upcoming Sunday again in that fashion, it gets bad.
Oh, yeah.
But you asked who's got the easier path to the playoffs if they lose?
Yes.
It's the Ravens, easily. With Joe Burrow injured now, do you have any faith in that Steelers team being a legitimate threat? No. So look at that division. The AFC North is difficult, but they've already rolled the Browns once, destroyed them in week 2. Joe Burrow's hurt, and I don't think anybody really trusts that Steelers team. And I think we can all agree that the Ravens are better than the Steelers. You look at the Chiefs, the Chargers are real. The Chargers are real right now, and they already beat them once. And the first 3 games of the year, Rico, for the Chargers were all divisional, and they won all 3 of them. The Chargers already are 3-0 in the division. The Broncos have not been great, but I think that they're on par right now with the Chiefs. They played them really tough last year, and they should have beat them if it wasn't for a blocked field goal, if you remember. The Raiders are not good, but we know the Raiders always give the Chiefs at least one good game a year. I think the Ravens have the easier path to winning their division. So I think, therefore, they have the easier path to get in. If the Chiefs fall to 1-3, and I believe they still have, let's just take a look at their upcoming schedule here. Because if you look at the Chiefs schedule,
who do you want? Chiefs or Eagles?
No, I got it. I was right. I thought it was the Lions. So they have the Lions in 2 weeks. They have a Jags
I'm gonna
team.
I'm gonna pull it up. Who are you talking about? The Chiefs or the
Chiefs?
Ravens?
The Chiefs.
All
So
right,
they have the Lions
2
games from now. They have the Jaguars next week, who is not a great team, but it's not like they're a walkover. And then you have a divisional game against the Raiders. Same thing. They're not great, but that is of course a team that's always played them tough, even though the Chiefs are superior. Then it's Commanders. Then it's Bills. 2 teams that were both on championship weekend last year. This is a really tough road for Kansas City, and they're not playing well. So I think right now, in terms of needing this victory for their playoff life going into week 4, I probably have to go Kansas City.
More, huh?
Yeah.
It's a tough one for them all, and I'm gonna be with you on that as well. Both teams going into this matchup, it's a tough one, but the Chiefs cannot afford to lose another one. If they lose another one, and as good as Mahomes is, and as good as Andy Reid is, there's something a little different about this Chiefs team. However, they're gonna start to get healthy, and this is where we can't sleep on the Chiefs. Rashee Rice is going to return at one point. Okay. Xavier Worthy is going to return at one point. There's still the trade deadline. The Chiefs could still make a trade for somebody. And I've heard rumors say they're going to try to get Devin A-Chain because the Dolphins will be looking to blow this whole thing up. So I'm not yet sleeping on the Chiefs because they know that there's a window. There's a window because Travis Kelce, he's going to be out there soon, right? They don't have running back. I think Pacheco blows. I've never been a fan of Pacheco. I don't think he's that great. Kareem Hunt, they don't have a running back, right? They don't have like a running back they can really count on, right? Schuster, he's on the back end of his career, right? They got Royal that they just drafted. Rashee Rice has come back. Xavier Worthy is going to be there. So I'm not ready to call it a day on the Chiefs because they're still very much alive. That the standings in the AFC West is not a joke either, and I get that part. But the Ravens, if the Ravens lose this, let me go take a look at what the Ravens are looking like in terms of who they have going forward, because they might be in some trouble themselves. Let's keep it honest. And that defense is not looking as good as people want to make them seem. So looking at the full schedule, right now, it's not great. It really isn't, man. So they've got.
That's preseason. Keep going.
Yeah. Okay. Let me keep going. All right, so we got the Kansas City Chiefs and they got the Houston Texans. That these guys are going to start. They're going to try to. That's not an easy walkthrough. That Texas defense is still a decent one. Okay.
No, but LA, I'm looking at there.
Then they got the Rams. They got their bye week, and the Bears. By the time they place the Bears, maybe the Bears go on a hot streak and they're ready to go.
No.
Then you got Miami, and then you got the freaking red hot Vikings. Listen, and you got Cleveland with a good defense, and by then maybe a quarterback change will happen. Who knows? Then they got the Jets, and they got Cincy.
See, that to me is a light stretch post-bye. That's a light stretch. So I think they could win every single one of those games you just showed. Every single one of those.
Bears, Dolphins, yes. Vikings. I don't know.
The Vikings have a great D. Carson, they destroyed Cincinnati defensively. Carson Wentz is the quarterback right now. I mean, I think you're probably taking Lamar in that game, right?
It's that defense, man. That defense is really nice.
You're right. It's definitely a great game.
I can't. Yeah, I would lean towards grabbing Baltimore, but that Vikings Flores defense is not a joke.
No doubt.
So and then Cleveland, you just never know with Cleveland. You never know with Cleveland. Like you said, right? These division games sometimes they become bizarre. The Jets blow. Then the Bengals are just not the same team.
Bad.
And then you got a division game in the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then Cincinnati again, and then New England.
Yeah,
so,
see that's a winning schedule though.
Yeah, I see you. So right now, this is a crucial game. This is a big game for both these guys, and we'll see how this all shakes out in the end. But I mean, and here's another one. Could the Chiefs not make the playoffs?
There's not a world that I can fathom where that happens. If it does,
not make the playoffs.
If that happens, I want you to open your curtains up and watch the pigs flying across the sky and the frogs raining down as well, because that will be what would happen.
Be something, because I mean, listen, if we're looking at it, the Bills should win the AFC East.
Right now, the Bills have a 95% chance to win the division. And it's going into week 4.
We'll probably wrap this thing by week 7. Week 8 is going to be wrapped up.
You'll be out doing your trick-or-treating with the Bills divisional championship hat on. That, like the one I have on right here that everybody gives me shit for all the time.
Absolutely. Ravens North, Colts, we'll call Colts South, and let's say Chargers. There's your 4. And then
look at the West. Look at that. Look at the Chargers and everybody else. That's crazy.
So Kansas City's gonna have to be battling the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Jaguars, they don't look too bad, to be honest with you.
We gotta put a dash of respect on the Colts right now too. We gotta.
But I think it was with you. I was talking to you. I was talking to somebody else. What would the odds be? How crazy would it be if by the time week 18 comes around, the Bills earn their number 1 seed?
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen.
Okay, Bills get number 1 seed, and they somehow have to face the Chiefs.
Yeah. my life, the way my life requires this happens. Basically, that's how my life would be.
I don't even want to think about it, bro. I ain't trying to think
7 seed Chiefs, AFC championship or a divisional round against the 1 seed Bills, beat them. I don't even. Like I told you, I think I said it on here. You won't catch me crying after that one. You're just going to catch me staring at the screen for 2 hours without saying a word. That's where I'm going to be. I'll be speechless.
I could totally see that happening. All right, last topic of the night, and we got to get out of here. Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Is he getting the raw treatment right now? I feel like a lot of guys are hating on Russ. They're hating on Russ. He's not a Hall of Famer. He's not this. He's not that. Golly, guys. Like, there are some guys in that's in the Hall of Fame right now that don't even sniff any of the things that Russell Wilson has done, and yet you want to question him being a Hall of Famer. Is Russell Wilson, when it's all said and done, a Hall of Fame quarterback? Yay or nay? It's really simple. Yay or nay?
If Marshawn Lynch got the ball, if Marshawn Lynch got a handoff, yes.
It's the hot debate going around town right now. Is Russell Wilson a Hall of Famer? To me, he's a Hall of Famer. And you said something that's super crucial, because if Marshawn Lynch runs that in there, you've got a 2-time Super Bowl winner.
Yes. But he didn't. He didn't run it in there.
And
Russell Wilson threw the interception. And this is where it gets incredibly difficult, this conversation.
I see.
I don't know if he is.
It's the hot topic. What's the chat say? Right now, my man might say, hell no. 4th and goal, game on the line, and he throws out the back of the end zone. I mean, this is old Russ. But, I mean, this is Russ nonetheless. Right?
This is why there's part of me that thinks there's value in hanging the cleats up as opposed to taking a check somewhere. I really do think that way. We're never going to remember Russell Wilson. And I'm telling you right now, and this is crazy because Aaron Rodgers is one of the best I've seen play. We're not going to remember him the same either. We're not. I mean, Brady's that unicorn example where he left, built a super team in Tampa Bay, won, had a bad year after that, and bounced. I mean, you go and extend your career here. In recency, I don't know why my dad hates when I say recency bias, but I'm going to say it here. Recency bias. I know I don't get it. I had a conversation with him. I go, why do you hate that? I just hate it. I hate that phrase. I'm like, why? Oh no, it's just something an idiot would say. I'm like, well, why? It's like, I don't even, whatever. It's a real thing. And you're going to remember the ending here. And it wasn't good. In Russ's particular case, it's been borderline bad.
Well, let's go back a little bit. when he went to Denver, bro, he had a raw deal. They did not want him in Denver. And Sean Payton
didn't.
Sean Payton did not want him. So, like, you can't really, I don't count Denver as a stint. And his roster was crap. He didn't have a roster. His roster wasn't that great. So I'm not really giving, I don't see him. He wasn't getting fair shake. And then he goes to Pittsburgh. And, like, I mean, you see what Pittsburgh's working with. What are they working with? I don't know. And now he's with the team that he's with right now in the New York Giants. And I was even surprised that he even went to New York Giants. So, like, I think he's a Hall of Famer. I think he's a Hall of Famer. And if you can certainly put in, because right now there's been a debate of Eli Manning being in the Hall of Famer.
I was shocked he wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer, to be honest with you.
First ballot?
I was shocked they didn't put him in first ballot. Yeah, I thought the Manning last name would have propelled him.
Because he deserves to be a first ballot Hall of Famer?
No, not necessarily. I just thought the last name would have propelled that. I really did.
I got you. I know what that's what I had to say. Because you think he is,
no?
Okay, what about Phillip Rivers? Is Phillip Rivers a Hall of Famer?
Well, I saw someone say it, and I agree with this wholeheartedly. If Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer, then Russell Wilson is a Hall of Famer. What is the bar? What is the bar now for Hall of Fame? I just don't know.
It's you know what, the NBA is worse. I see guys that are like Vince Carter's a Hall of Famer. Huh? Vince Carter?
But here's the thing: you're putting, and this is why when Deion Sanders said there should be a Hall of Fame for the Hall of Fame, I agree. You're going to put Phillip Rivers in the same memoriam as Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, and like it doesn't really add up. But then again, like there's other people that are in there right now that are at a same, you know,
no
at the same caliber.
No Super Bowls on the belt, and they don't have the statistics to even prove that they're a Hall of Famer. So Russell Wilson's Hall of Fame for me, but if he's not in, then neither should Eli, and neither should. I mean, does a Super Bowl get you in a Hall of Fame? Should that propel you to get into a Hall of Fame?
Two does. Two or other accolades. One Super Bowl for, I think Josh Allen's already on his way because of the unbelievable amount of records that are going to end up being broken by him when he's done, right? So one, with the hardware he already has and an MVP, and then the impact on the game and the noticeable records he'll have broken by the time it's done, one would be, I think one gets him first ballot, right? But for other quarterbacks like Eli Manning, I don't think one might have been enough to get it done, but two certainly is.
Winning the Super Bowl is an absolute great feat. And now to get in the Hall of Fame, you need two?
No. I think for certain quarterbacks you do. Like, for instance, Dan Marino was so great, he didn't even need to win one, right? Because of how great he was. Jim Kelly's the same way. Yeah, it's definitely certain quarterbacks. Like, I don't know if Eli Manning, Rico, gets in with just one. But two, you're not keeping him out.
It'd be so great if they said, all right, halt everything. We've revamped on what we believe a Hall of Famer is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at the list of Hall of Famers that are in here. We're going to now, you're in, you're out. You're out, you're in. I wonder who would be booted out and who would be added, because like now it's so skewed. You don't know what a Super Bowl. You don't know what an MVP is. That was just, if you've played long enough, sometimes he's made it.
Yeah, like
he's in there. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So Eli Manning, bro, no, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I don't think he was. I don't think you. Other than, I mean, you can't even take that away either. You can't say other than the Super Bowls.
No,
you can't.
And they were two of the greatest Super Bowl wins of all time in the history of the NFL.
You can't. You got to put Russ in there, man. Because at one point there was like, let Russ cook, because that boy was nice. Yeah, like he was with it. I don't understand the hate that he's getting. Oh, he doesn't deserve it. He ain't that good. He ain't this. Bro, look at the scenarios he's been put in, man. I just don't like it. But that's the debate. I hope he gets in by the time it's all said and done, because this guy's nothing but a nice individual. You don't got no issues with him. He's corny a little bit, but he all right. Good dude. But I mean, shoot.
I'll just say this. If he got in, would I be like, oh my God, I can't believe it? No. So
no, neither would I. Neither would I. But Phillip Rivers, you would be?
See, Phillip Rivers was a dog. That's the thing. It's like he didn't win anything, but damn, Phillip Rivers was a G. You know, there's guys that I'd put in the Hall of Fame that nobody else would. I think Julian Edelman is a Hall of Famer. You cannot tell the story of the greatest dynasty in the history of the sport without Julian Edelman. And he's a Super Bowl MVP.
Come on, man. Then you got to be like, Julian Edelman, Hall of Famer. Yeah. Jerry Rice. What?
But once again, Tom Brady.
What are you doing here?
Tom Brady. Eli Manning, and I know he beat Tom Brady twice, but we're talking about the comparison of the comparison of the two players. This is where it gets interesting.
It
or
does.
Tom Brady and then
crazy.
Russell Wilson. It's like that's
Tom
two different tiers.
Tom Brady must itch when he has to say, "I lost to freaking Eli freaking Manning." Are you kidding me?
And Nick Foles.
Oh my God. And I could have had a perfect season, but Eli Manning ruined it for me. Oh my, that make me itch all over my body. Crazy.
Oh.
My man Signify says, "Yo, Zbot, you should talk to Patriots fans. Edelman is simultaneously no weapons and Hall of Famer in the same breath." Golly.
What?
My man Walter said, "You'll stop with Edelman." Hell no.
No, listen, Edelman doesn't have the numbers to get in, but this is where I think the criteria for Hall of Fame is so weird because we don't really know what it is. And sometimes I look at impact on the game. And Julian Edelman was a major impact on the greatest dynasty in the history of the sport. And he won a Super Bowl MVP.
I think there should be some criteria. Like for quarterbacks, 15,000 yards or more, you have to at least hit that.
15,000?
15,000, maybe a little more. Maybe 20?
Definitely got to be more than 15.
Maybe it's 20. Because for running backs, it's 10. So yeah, 20,000 yards passing.
Okay.
You've got to at least hit that mark. I think there should be that.
Wait, hold on. That's got to be way more. I just looked at Russell Wilson's stats. Dude, he has 47,000 career yards.
Maybe I'm wrong. I just threw it out there because running backs is you got to be like, at least if you get at least 10,000 or more.
Okay.
I think you should be in the Hall of Fame. At least you're in the conversation of it. So for quarterbacks, maybe it's obviously different. So 30, we'll say 30,000 is the cap.
So you're just saying that there should be a cap. I don't know what the number would be, but there should be. Yeah.
You should be vetted. All right, your career's done. You've officially retired. All right, let's see if you've hit these marks. Okay, so you're over 30,000. You're still in. Perfect. Oh, but I'm at 29,984. All right, well, let's see if you've got
sign a one-game deal.
Let's see if you got any MVPs. I mean, I think those things should matter. Okay, so how many MVPs you have? Okay, with the 2 MVPs that you have, that's great. Your yards don't matter. This matters. There's got to be where you can get in and get out. If you have less than 30,000 yards, never had an MVP, but you won one Super Bowl, and you're beloved in that town. I don't know. Pick a team that's
probably what is that? That's probably Trent Dilfer, right there.
You feel me? You're beloved. I don't think Trent Dilfer's beloved in Tampa.
Well, okay, how about Joe Flacco?
Boom, Flacco, beloved in Baltimore, and that's another conversation people talking about. Is he a Hall of Famer?
So then I guess at that point, Rico, the bar has become, did you win a Super Bowl? That's basically what the bar is.
Crazy. Did you win a Super Bowl? Yes, I did. How many yards did you pass for? Just enough.
But what's crazy is right now in the NFL, you have 2 Hall of Famers in Allen and Lamar who have not even made one. Right? So that's what's crazy about this whole conversation.
This is why it's tough. That's why you have to have many people. Like, I wonder how they go through it. Do they just write a ballot and run it? Do you not get in a boardroom and chat and say this?
Oh, they definitely don't. Or do they?
I wonder. Do they just fill a ballot out and that's it?
Well, that's what they do with the MVP. I don't know about the Hall of Fame. I don't know.
Guys in a boardroom and nobody gets out. It's like a jury room.
That would
nobody
be cool.
Gets on until we have a freaking verdict on what's happening here. Who's in, who's out. We got to battle it out. I think he deserves it. I don't think he deserves it. Like, can you imagine the Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson debate? If Dan Orlovsky and all these guys are in there yapping it away, Stephen A. Smith is in there, and you got to make your point.
Well, Lamar right now would have the better case because of the 2 MVPs.
Oh, for sure.
But
I mean, Josh is on his way to his second MVP. I don't care what anybody tells me. He's on his way.
I don't know if he can get past Indiana Jones. We'll see what ends up going on in the course of the next few months.
What is Daniel Jones is the real deal? What's going on?
Dude, if I'm a Giants fan, you want to talk about like gearing up to tune into a game. How about all the other extra factors? Saquon leaves, instantly Super Bowl champion, offensive player of the year. Daniel Jones, who Giants fans thought was going to be, working at a Starbucks in New York, is now balling in Indianapolis. I mean,
so is Dable the problem? Dable's got to go. Dable made this change to save his ass, and Joe Schoen to save their ass.
Well, also too, you're getting booze rained down. I think that's where you're right. Like, dude, when they put Dart in the other night for a couple of gadget plays and they took him out and the whole crowd's booing,
oh man,
like dude, you're in a bad spot.
Dude, I don't know if Dable makes it out. I don't know if Dable makes it out. I just, even if there's some success, or it's horrible. I don't know, because you picked him. Not only did you pick Jackson Dart, if he's terrible, you're done. You're cooked, and you just set this franchise behind. Terrible. Oh boy.
Oh my God. Right. Hey, did we do our sleeper picks yet, or should we do them now?
No, we should do it right now.
All right, let's build a slip for the Bills game. One.
By the way, we did poorly on that Thursday nighter.
We will win one.
Marvin Harrison went over.
Well, we were looking good for 3 quarters.
We were looking pretty damn good.
What a weird game that was. It felt like Seattle was up by 100. And next thing you know, it was like, is this game going to go to overtime? That new kickoff rule, though, now, Rico, being able to get into game-winning field goal territory it's
crucial. I like it. I know some people don't like it, but I like it.
I have no problem with it at all.
Neither do I.
Because he's still, he listen, rules are the rules. Kick it out of the back of the end zone. What are you doing? Whatever. Yeah. All right, let's go take a peek over on Sleeper. Let's take a peek at the Bills game in particular. Let's build a slip with 4 picks. All right, let's see. James Cook, anytime touchdown. Lock me in on that. He needs a touchdown to break the franchise record for consecutive games. They're going to be in position to score, I think, throughout the day. I think they're cognizant of that record being on the line. So give me anytime touchdown for James Cook. Anything in particular for you, Rico, that you're looking for here?
Anytime touchdown for James Cook, give me that. Give me that. That's a no-brainer. What was the gimme that they gave us?
Oh, the freebie. Where is our freebie?
They probably didn't give it to us yet.
Nope, we don't have it yet.
We do.
I think we do.
Oh, we do?
Oh, no, never mind. Sorry. Never mind. Nope.
Okay. What do they got about Josh Palmer in there? They got anything for him?
Ooh.
Or Keon Coleman, one of the two? I need one of my receivers I'm curious to see what they got from my receiver.
Coleman's only at 38.5 yards. You loving that?
I'm loving that. Give me that.
Okay.
And I see why they did 38, because they feel like somebody else is going to eat. Jackson Hawes is probably going to have something. Who knows? Yeah. Speaking of Jackson Hawes, what they got about Jackson Hawes? Like, we can get spicy.
There's no Hawes on here. I don't know if they're not going deep enough on Hawes yet.
All right.
They're not like my man.
Kincaid's been on something. So give me Kincaid. There's a theme happening with Kincaid. They want Kincaid to get the ball. I wonder what they have. They probably have
36 and a half.
That feels low, no?
Give me it. I'm in on that.
Give me that. He's been 40 yards or more. I think. Did he have 130-yarder? I like it. Give me. This is the best start to his career he's had. Not even close. Perfect. I mean, dude, he already has 2 touchdowns. He had 2 touchdowns in both last season and the season before. His rookie season was a really damn good season, though, man.
He only had 2 touchdowns. He's already got 2 now.
He had like 673 yards or something like that.
Yeah, through the first 3 games, though, this is the most receptions, yards, and touchdowns he's had to start.
He's on pace. He's doing all right.
Yeah.
What do they got? What do they got about our guy Josh?
Well, they got 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Touchdowns. Oh, I can see that. 2 touchdown passes. Yeah.
Yeah. Why am I thinking they're just? I don't know. I keep thinking they're going to play so conservatively in this game. But dude, what's 2 touchdowns in this game for Allen? He had 3 last.
And he shovel passes stuff now these days.
I know. And he had like the stuff to Moore, like to Hawes there, like. And he had 3 last week, and it didn't even really feel like it. So let's do that. Let's was easy.
Add one more. Let's pick a hard one. One we're like, oh, I'm not sure about that one.
Okay. Let's do.
Well, this Al wants to know what's Kincaid's reception over under
36 and a half.
More or less 36 and a half. Oh, that's cool.
Okay, I think this is a hard one. James Cook 76 and a half rushing yards.
Well, here's why I think he could get it, because if we're up the way we need to be up, they're going to run the football.
I like it.
He's guaranteed for at least a 20-yard run.
Yeah, and I think he's going to get like at least 17 carries in this game.
But these guys are pretty good defending the run. They're allowing less than 3 yards, I think less than 4 yards a pop. But at this point, we have such a good offensive line. We're one of the best. We're actually the best rushing team in the league. Bro, why not? Why not?
Why not is right. Oh, you can only have 1 pick per player. You can only have one pick.
Okay.
So I guess we're just going to have to settle with what we got. So what we have, all that talk just to have 1 pick per player. We were like, oh, God. All right. James Cook, touchdown. Keon Coleman, more than 38.5 receiving yards. Kincaid, more than 36.5 receiving yards. Josh Allen, 2 touchdowns, folks. That is a multiplier of 6.2. 100 pays 620. If you want to tell that pick, or of course,
Dude,
create
that's a good one.
I really
That's
do
a
like
good
that one. We're gonna have to keep tabs on that. We'll show it again on
After the game, post game.
Sunday. Yeah, and then we'll keep tabs and see how we did. But I
Are you
like
going
that.
are you going to any more games this year?
I don't think so.
You're done, huh? You hit the quota?
Well, with the baby on the way, I don't know if that's going to be in the cards.
Listen,
Isn't that right, Carol? Caroline said, yeah. She goes, yeah.
You know what? You know what I can totally picture? I can totally picture baby Bot, right, sitting with dad on dad's lap, and dad's going to have one of these on baby Bot's ears.
And he's going to be chatting out the gate.
Bouncing off his leg.
He's going to be talking. He's going to be talking ball right out of the gate. I think that's what's going to happen. Anyway, 6.2 multiplier is what the payout is on this play. If you want to tell this one or create any of your own slips this upcoming week, do so on the Sleeper app, the fastest organically growing real money and fantasy platform on the internet. It is the best. Use it for fantasy, use it for sleep, or use it for your picks. Link is in the description below. Use that link, click it, and then use the promo code BF25 once you're in there. That'll get a 100% match up to $100 on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. Currently available in over 25 states. See Sleeper via the link in the description below today.
Wonderful.
All right. Anything else you got for me?
Well, we're going to get a couple super chats in here, and then we'll get out of here, brother.
Let's do it.
Let's get some super chats in here, bro. So we got obviously Michelle was showing some love to us, and she became a member today, so I love that. Richie says, boys, we lit. Bills beating the Saints 41-13. Bold prediction, Bills go undefeated up until the Eagles game. Stay tuned. Richie Fresh, you mother sucker. Al Dusher says, hey, Bot, do you think during the rivalry uniform game, should the fans do a whiteout like your Penn State boys?
Penn State whiteout tomorrow against Oregon. If history shows itself again, they will lose that game.
No love for your Penn State boys, huh?
I have no love in a bit. No, I have love, but I have no confidence in a big game. I mean, they are the Cowboys, the Dolphins of the world when it comes to big games. They lose every time. But do I think the Bills should do a whiteout? Yes, that would be sick. I wish they would do that. Maybe they will. I don't know what the plan is, but that would be awesome.
That would be sick if we did a whiteout, because NBA, they were having this conversation in the NBA where OKC would absolutely do that, but then you had t-shirts all over the stands and people did not want to wear the t-shirts. Not you got to do that. That's what makes the home crowd lit.
Yeah,
anyway,
sick.
let's keep it rolling. Richie Fresh says, yo, Pierre's liver is going to be screaming by halftime.
He's cooked.
We'll see. So big shout out to our girl Michelle. She became a member. So by the way, guys, if you have not had a chance, go ahead and join up and hit that membership, and we'd love your support. All is good. If you guys see the pinned comment in the chat, you'll notice that you can actually join our Discord. Join the Discord chat. Everything's lit. We're doing giveaways. Jump in there. It'll be great. My man Led Rapster says, yo, this will not be Rattlers' breakout game with the Saints. It'll be a break up game. You damn right we will. My man Led Rapster comes back and says, look, all I know is Allen will win 4 Super Bowls to even out our championship record. BF is the best channel on YouTube. You know what? We're going to give you that love. We got to.
Love my man
Fantastic.
Mitch.
You'll love to see it. Signified Nose comes back and says, hey, Josh is also the first good quarterback of my life. I was a senior in high school when they ended the drought, and I turned 21 during Josh's breakout year. Yo, Signified Nose is just a young man. He's
in the same boat as me. He's in the exact same boat as me.
A young man. Signified Nose. You're so young to have so much hate for the Ravens. My gosh. Scott Van Loo, I see us going 6-0 before the bye week. Scotty, I love it. And speaking of Scotty said, you know what? F that. I'm coming back. Let's go, Scotty boy. All right, Fluffy Panda. What up, Fluff? Yo, when KC loses, the division streak ends. But will they miss the playoffs? And did you see the comments by Tua? First Take had a good video on it. Oh, yeah, we did. We definitely talked about it. My man's, that's the biggest banger you've had so far this year. Your tweet. This year.
Yeah, it is actually. It actually is.
Banger. Oh, yeah, you hit that one. Now you're gonna get a lot.
Well,
of
you know
love
what?
with that. Yo,
No, I posted a video though of Allen. It got less likes, but it's got like millions of views. I posted a video of just, I don't know if you guys saw the Amazon Prime graphic they used for him, where it's him, and you know how they like do their animated like stance or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And it's Allen, and he's like this, right? And he goes to throw, and he throws a pump fake, and then he just smiles at the camera, and it keeps turning around. And I posted that, and like 5 different of these giant NFL accounts took it and started using it as like a meme. Someone used it the other day, and they said, what was it? Like who? Oh, you know, I'm actually completely blanking. I can't remember the meme, but it was a huge meme, and it was like millions of views or whatever. And I'm like, dude, this was just a stupid video or whatever. Sometimes that's what it is.
Yo, I have to give you some credit, man, because like I don't care enough to like, and it's not like you're looking for it. You just have the mindset like, oh, that would hit. I don't have the mind to like, yo, that would hit. Let me play. I'm just like, yo, if I find it funny, I'm putting it up there. But you know when to just hit and strike at the right time.
I just love Twitter. That's the problem.
He's like, I just love it. I just love it.
I love Twitter.
Signified No says, yo, you two would find a way to defend McDermott after a loss to a 7th seed Chiefs. I know you would.
No.
Listen,
I can't do it again.
You guys already know how I feel. I still feel that although McDermott, you know what I mean, we're sitting at 3-0, I still feel, I've said this analogy before. He's in the room, right? And there's a seat in the room. He's just not sitting down on it. I've said it before. There was at one point I had him sitting down on a thing, and that thing was red hot. And they brought him back and said, hey, by the way, not only will we bring you back, we're going to give you an extension. So now he's chilling. He's cool. But for me, this year is a crucial year. He's in that room. The seat's there, but he's not even looking back at it. He doesn't need to look back. He's 3-0, and we'll go from there. But, man, I ain't trying to see any of that happen this year. Anyway, folks, that is all.
Well, I just want to show this video of Allen that I was talking about.
Yeah. Find that.
I just because it was. I don't know what. These has to be so awkward for the players to do these, where they're like, "Hey, we're gonna film you. Just basically just do something." Like it's got to be so awkward for them, right? So this was the video.
So that right there.
He just hits him with the pump fake. Watch the grin. Watch the grin after he does the pump fake.
Right there. And see, I would look at that and think nothing of it. And you're like, post that, got it.
No, dude, I was watching the game and I'm like, wait, did he just hit a pump fake on the graphic and laugh about it? And I rewound it. I'm like, he did. Because they were probably telling him to just do whatever. And he's like, watch this.
It's the fact that, watch this, I'm just going to do a subtle, who's going to catch it? Bots, I got it.
I'm like, bot got it. I see you, 17. All right. Well, hey, what is it? Midnight, Friday night, 3 hours in the books on a Rico and Bot. We appreciate you tuning in.
How did we do it? How do we do these 3 hours and these guys are sitting here hanging out with us? You guys are truly amazing.
Because they're the best.
Much love to everybody that's tuned in. We got the best people that watch us, honestly.
The best.
No joke. Because I couldn't imagine doing 3 hours and there's 2 people watching. I'd be like, all right, I'm calling it a night, folks. We'll see you. But we are here sitting with 1,000 people watching off of all our platforms. Much love. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Great stuff.
My microphone is completely falling apart. So that's the cue to leave. We'll see you Sunday for Buffalo Bills action. We can't wait. We'll see you pregame. Pierre will see you during the game. We'll see you postgame. Can't wait. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Friday night. Enjoy your Saturday. See you Sunday. Much love as always. Go Bills.